Testing, testing, 1, 2.
Herpes.
Audio Technica.
Herpes.
Testing, testing.
2-1.
Hello and welcome to the Yacht Club, the weekly show where we talk about all things Star Citizen and try to do it in style, all while keeping our drinks from not spilling. Tonight, we don't have any special guests because all four of us and all of you are special enough. We're going to
That's right.
2.5 hours.
And we
Oh,
can use the
you're
dates
so
when Fluff Bro is going to be on
No, she's next week. Yeah, she's next
We
week.
thought we were
Yep.
having a guest, though.
next week.
And hey, Linear, good to see you, man.
That was my fault.
So it's great to see everybody. Everyone's hiding out, trying to stay safe from COVID-19 and doing supply runs when you can, building our gardens in the backyard and server farms so we can make money during the time when, our new normal finally plateaus. Hope you're all doing well. We kind of have an interesting show this week, obviously with the content that's been coming out of CIG. So it's going to be a pretty fun one. So stick around. Let us know what you're drinking, and we'll go around the panel and just find out how everyone's been doing. Doc, why don't we start with you? How are things
Holy
going
shit.
for you this
But-
week?
but-
Okay,
before we
wait.
start with
Jay
Doc,
Gatsby,
we-
for the love of
we
God, man.
We have got to thank Jay Gatsby. 2 months
Yeah.
resub at tier 3 and gifted 10 Twitch Prime or 10 tier 1 subs
10?
to folks.
Wow.
There were 5, and he just did another 5. And Linear, thanks for the resub there. And Dalamars, thanks for the resub there. Thanks,
Linear.
everybody.
Nice.
You guys are
Yeah.
absolutely
And
awesome.
we have a level 5
Wow.
hype train
Really cool.
already.
Oh, we're at level 5 already. Oh my gosh.
Keep that
Wow,
bitch
you
going.
guys.
Cheers.
Okay, so
Crazy.
Cheers.
I'm gonna turn the alert box down a little bit because I'm sure
So-
it's driving everybody nuts.
I'm doing Red Bull tonight, so I think I'm at level 5 high train just with you guys.
Awesome.
So since we're starting with me, why don't we do that?
Mhm.
All right, so let's quickly show those pictures. This is what my week's been up to.
Hold on.
I know that Easter is coming.
Oh, you're gonna show those first? Okay. All right, here we go.
Gotta show that first. Yeah.
Thanks for the sublinear. Resub, 3 months.
It's
Easter's
gonna be hard
coming,
to
so
see. There's just gonna be a million spams here.
I bought the channel a giant $75 lint gold bunny, but then
Fancy.
I kind of got hungry and had a chocolate craving, and so well,
Were you going to give that to StemWife and then you ate it yourself?
pretty much.
And thanks for another tier 1 sub for Dr. Murray.
Oh,
Jay Gatsby.
wow.
So
Awesome.
Yeah, nice one. So I pulled out a knife and I chopped off its ears. And that's
rabbit
And-
murder. I don't know,
Yeah.
T Nicer. I think it's more rabbit bleeding. It's soft and
okay.
chewy on the
Can't hear
inside.
anybody
Card-
scream anymore.
That's
Carson sees 3 people who are active in the Discord and 1 bastard who isn't.
There's Ed. There he is. Good to see you guys, man. Hey, Spectre. Hey, Gatsby.
see
Hey,
everybody.
Jad. Hey, EOD. Man.
Long,
Always a great crowd.
so long since last week
Gunslinger.
hanging out with
I
everybody.
know. That's it. I don't even
Yeah.
remember doing Saturday. It was been such a freaking blur.
Did we do something on Saturday?
Jordan
No.
and I did. Well,
No.
last Saturday.
Oh.
Well, yeah, we did some
Okay.
stuff. And, yeah, geez, yeah, that's right. You did arrive eventually after you died several times on the way.
Yes.
And
Well, we have pictures of that.
Yes,
so,
we'll go through
We'll
that.
show that later.
last
That does
picture?
seem like forever ago.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
you want to talk
Yes.
about this
No,
first?
no.
I'd say
Okay.
that's probably been one of the things that has affected me the most is that normally my days fly by so fast in a blink of an eye, and like I wake up and then the day's over, and days are so long right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So when you're working hard at they're not that long. They're not that-
and I'm still
So-
working hard, but
Yeah.
I don't move.
yeah. So what you're seeing on the screen right now, this is if some people might recognize as cards, it's Magic the Gathering. So I'm working.
Nerd.
Nerd alert.
So says a person who has 2 different D&D games going on right now.
Nice.
And starting a
Nice.
Starfinder game.
So this is I'm trying to put together a way like basically a separate Discord. I'm not going to talk about it now, but the whole idea is that we'll be able
Holy
to play
shit, the
Magic
Saber
the
Ash.
Gathering Oh wow!
Thanks, man. 10 tier 1
Holy
subs.
smoke! Jeez.
Thanks,
See,
you're
wow.
awesome,
Thanks
man.
to Steve Wreck.
Wow.
I need like
So
a.
you'll be able to play Magic the Gathering with your friends over Discord.
I don't have
with
an
your
air raid
paper
sign.
cards that having to do Magic Arena, because otherwise you have to basically buy your cards twice. If you buy them in paper and then you start buying them digital, so you can actually play it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and you'll be able to see the person you're playing with, and you even be able to play 4-player games, multiplayer, commander, all that kind of stuff. So that's fun. And then last picture, Shadow, real quick.
Mm-hmm. Steam.
This is
the garden of
my
Steam.
vegetable garden that I'm building. It's not really a garden; it's 3 raised beds.
So,
But it's just in case the end of the world comes and
A
migrant workers
nuclear
can't
winter
get-
kills them all anyway.
the migrant workers can't work, and we need to grow our own vegetables. So there we go. Full prepper mode.
good plan there. So this is why we haven't seen Stim, because he's off doing other things.
Yeah,
You know,
Well,
he loves his
survival.
other projects more
Survival.
than us. It's
You-
fine.
he does.
Not
but
true.
That's
You-
okay.
You know that
Yes,
you
it is.
have.
You pulled your Discord boost. That's like saying we don't love you anymore.
We don't love the Yacht Club
Oh.
anymore.
Says the people that aren't subscribed on Twitch to their
I'm
own show.
subscribed on Twitch.
He is now.
Yeah, because
And
somebody
I
else
have
bought it
Discord.
for you. I needed
So-
the boost for so one was for work and one's for the other Magic the
I'll
Gathering thing.
boost us.
If you guys are into
It's
Magic,
cool.
let me know. I'll invite you to that Discord. And
We
So,
we are.
Oh, we're good.
so Stim,
Yeah.
you know that you have a Discord app on your phone, so you can pop in and say hi to people every once in a while.
Our,
yeah,
community
I
is-
do.
So we actually have 39 boosts right now, so we're good.
we had 29 this morning. I asked for one boost.
Damn,
and
we got-
so crazy.
we got-
Because
Yeah,
our
because
community
it's an
is
amazing
wonderful,
community,
wonderful community.
And for the
They-
record,
That's
the
fine
record-
with me.
when I took my 2 boosts out, we had 32 boosts. So it shouldn't have gone under the 30 that we
We
needed.
had 31 boost actually.
Well, it said
Yeah.
32 when I did it. So
Well,
obviously
that's why
you
we
can drop
can't
it
be
down
right on
below.
the line, because people drop off, people come back all the
Yeah.
time, because some people drop out of Nitro, some people change their boosts around, so it's good to have a little bit of a cushion.
Of course.
Yep.
But now we
So-
do.
so that our
'cause
sound
this is
Cushion
quality
awesome.
is great.
engaged.
So when we actually have our sound working, we have good quality.
Yes.
And
Hello, Manx.
why don't should we change which one is boosted to the one we're in right now?
It already is.
Yeah.
Is it?
wait.
Why do
I think
I
it just
see
doesn't. I think it just
384
doesn't.
kbps
I think it
on
just
part
said
two
it doesn't
in
say it
operations?
on the show channel.
No, it's just that's just
but it is.
that's just
That's,
we
that's
named
just saying
it that.
which one of those.
Yeah, we
party
named
channels
that.
is-
We named it
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
way. That's why.
This
Okay.
this channel. Is
Oh, every single channel is actually on
Clear as
384 anyway. So.
No, not all of them.
Oh, crew rooms are not. Well, yeah, we can set them that way. It's not hurting. you.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
really
doesn't
need to.
matter.
Yeah.
We'll raise it anyway.
And
All right, anyway.
Carson Carolina's calling me out for
Carson! Oop, shit.
Having a great week, Tim. What
Oh,
what,
fine.
what are you drinking?
Yeah.
Red Bull?
I'm drinking
Anybody?
Red Bull right now.
He's drinking Red Bull,
vodka
drinking
or
Red Bull.
anything in
Can't
it?
you tell? Can't you tell? I'm drinking Red Bull.
Drinking Red Bull. I'm drinking Red Bull. Red Bull's amazing.
After that, I'm gonna dive
Where's your
into
wings?
Original Gravity Haze, which is a Driftwood Brewery beer,
Ooh,
and then
very
I'll
nice.
surprise everybody later.
Oh, Dr. Contrast is with us today.
Hey, Dr.
Hey,
Contrast! How's it going, buddy? Yeah, so he did his first official
Good
show
time,
today, and it was amazing. The guy's a natural. So if you guys missed it, it's 4 p.m. on Wednesdays. Here is a link to Dr. Contrast. Go watch the VOD. I tell you what, he's working on the fighters for my battle yacht right now, and he's just like throwing stuff in there that I gave him like very little stuff to work with, and he just like took off. He's come up with fighters, and he's got this recon drone now, and all this. He's just going crazy, and I love it. So if you missed
Awesome.
it, watch it. Wednesdays at 4. But give him a follow, because he's actually going to be doing some random stuff. He's already been gotten, just from this show, he's already been gotten in touch with to do potentially his first commissioned work from the community, which is super freaking cool. First
Nice.
show. So, yeah, I mean, it went really, really well. I mean, you guys will love it.
He's
So we're
super
working with it.
creative.
Nice.
Yeah, we're working with the stuff to get things improved, get his Twitch page all filled in and all that. And so lots to going on there. So, hey, Dr. Contrast, so glad you could join us. Great job today. Salute.
His work is just so good.
Mm.
Yep.
Wait do
Oh,
you see the
wow.
fighters he was doing today?
Look at that shallow pour. That is such
Even
a
it,
shallow pour.
even his cars look like fighters. It's amazing.
His cars, they do.
Unbelievable. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like in his
It-
blood. It's
It
perfect.
is awesome. Yeah, great to watch. He's
Yeah.
so informative. The way he just talks through everything is just
I think
Fun guy.
I think a success for us would be if he designs a ship for CIG. If we
Yes.
can make that happen.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Actually,
That'd be
somebody
pretty
in
cool.
chat
That'd be
today
cool.
was like, "Does he work for CIG?" And I was like, "No." But I was like, "Ring,
Yeah.
ring, ring! Yes, Mr. Roberts, please. We have your next designer."
Yeah.
No,
Definitely
it would
part of the
be
ship team.
it would be awesome. Yeah. So, but yeah. So anyway, no, I highly encourage you to watch it. It's gonna be great to do.
So
and watch.
Gin and Tonic tipped us $11 and change to hit the
Round us.
$50 exactly on the giveaway meter.
Thank you.
Thanks for gifting the sub, Jed.
Hey, Jed, gifting the sub.
Hey.
Well done, well done.
For Dr. Contrast. Thanks,
Nice
man.
one.
Welcome to the party.
All right.
But
who-
not
who's next?
Joran.
Doc, how was your week?
It's all right. I've been playing a lot of D&D since I have more free time. That's
Go.
been interesting.
Finished your writing project there?
I don't have any projects right now.
Yeah, it's in between. Got a little,
Not-
little
Yeah.
time there.
And
What's
it's
that?
not looking like I'm gonna find anything for a while either. Just everybody is hunting right now.
What are you?
Oh, really?
What, do you-
Yeah, I bet.
what character are you playing?
I'm playing a paladin. It's
Okay,
level
what-
6.
And
That somehow
race?
doesn't surprise me.
Oh, is a mountain dwarf and is a
Ooh.
redemption paladin, so a pacifist.
A
So-
pacifist paladin.
Sweet.
That's a new one.
So I try to reason with everybody before I hit them with my hammer. It's
Striker says
And
he
I-
got into it, that didn't have an online group anymore, looking for a group. There are so many people playing D&D right now.
Good.
You know, it's
Yeah.
funny. I don't remember where. I think it was in Concierge Chat earlier today. Actually, somebody said that they mentioned to somebody that they were playing D&D, and then they got like totally chatted by some guy. It's like, you know, everybody's playing D&D right now. It's like,
Well, it's a
Yeah.
good.
Like
I mean, you
D-
could do it on Skype or on Skype. Oh God,
D-
Discord. So
D&D
why not?
It is more popular right now than it has ever been in history, and it's really been popularized on Twitch and with Critical Role, and they have
Yeah.
like 50,000 people watching them play D&D. Lots and
Yeah.
lots of going on.
My fun character though is in the other game is an Aratuscan, which is a birdman
Birdman. Hey, Mystic,
that can
thanks for the tip.
fly. So I just have a
Look at that
bow.
jar, man. That jar is
Down
just.
here, everybody.
Oh, that's
Overflowing.
awesome.
Thanks, Mystic.
Yeah.
Oh, Gorthor
and I
said
make a
said
lot
that
of
Stranger
crying
Things. So I guess they
Why
did
does
some
this
D&Ding
even
on Stranger
imply?
Things.
They did, but I don't
I
think
didn't
it
watch
brought it back mainstream. D&D never wasn't mainstream. Like
D&D was definitely not mainstream there for many decades.
well, when
Like-
Stranger Things came out.
I hate to say, but it's still not.
No, it is. It's fine.
Oh,
I
hell,
see, I see more girls on Tinder say they play D&D than I've ever seen before.
well,
So.
who was it? The guy that played Aquaman, and some of the other characters. What's that guy's name? The big
Jason
buff actor.
Momoa.
Yeah, that guy. He's apparently a huge D&D guy, and he was on one of the late night talk shows talking about his whole. He like turned his whole basement into a D&D man cave sort of
Yeah.
thing, and like lots of people are into. Well, and I think also that nerds have really become mainstream in the past decade. You know, the
Yeah.
internet and everything
Well, it's
else,
been
and
more than the
programming in
past
Silicon
decade.
Valley.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
the
it,
Y2K
well,
mark is
it's
when
been a
suddenly
growing thing.
being in
yeah, it's been for a while, but with the
Yeah.
resurgence of the internet and the iPhones and iPads and all this stuff.
Can we talk about?
Sorry,
Please.
let's talk about nerdy things.
Yeah,
This
we're
is the
just
time. This
nerding
is the
out.
week where we've all been so isolated for a week. Like we get to hang out with our
Have
friends
been.
and our community, and it's like, yeah, well, you know, like we have the people that we interact with and stuff. But and shit, I mean, I spend 24/7 talking with the community, but this is a great time to hang out with you guys. I don't get to see you except once a week, and in our community, and you know,
I need to qualify my earlier statement. D&D has been mainstream since like 2000. Okay, it's
We got to
been
rename.
very popular. 3.0 was very good for
Let's
the
see if this
brand,
fits.
and 5e has been pretty good for him as well.
I think going at mainstream
Well, when I say
outside of nerdy circles
why is your name Joe?
might be a stretch.
So
I just want to
Deceiver
thank
Rec,
Well, no,
Obsidian
I
Deceiver
would-
Rec
for
named you
those
prefer
chairs and
Joe.
sitting. That's awesome.
I'm so far outside the real mainstream that I have no idea what's going on. But nerd culture D&D like the 90s.
Yeah,
Like, if
well,
you didn't play D&D, you weren't a nerd for a long time.
yeah, and unfortunately, I have no nerd cred because like, I didn't play. But I played lots of RPGs, and before I move on to that, what are you drinking, Doc?
I'm drinking a rum and coke. I'm about to go get some scotch because this rum and coke has gone
Yeah.
quickly.
Nice.
Well
Just,
done.
I need
Like,
a shallow pour of
I
scotch.
was having Guinness this evening. Actually,
Yeah.
my
I'm already
my
half
first
done
beer
with this one.
quite a few days. That's like the great
We drink
sacrifice.
too much.
Mm-hmm.
Often, I have not been drinking very much here the past 2 weeks. I didn't lay in a huge stash of beer, unfortunately. And my wife
I've
hasn't
made
let
up for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, like a lot of people.
I've been drinking,
I saw
rum
Spectre's
and coke
collection
every day.
of alcohol. He's got like 10 bottles of liquor that he picked up today.
Yeah, I told him that would last about a week.
Like,
It
Hey,
was bad.
we actually have a picture
Oh, I
of
actually
that.
have that. Yeah, I
to
actually have a
show,
picture of
yeah.
that.
Got a picture of
And
that?
while we're bringing that picture up, I was going to say, Jad, second edition of AD&D, brother, I'm with you.
Well, it was
I'll
just
Second
note you
edition.
right there.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, going back.
I
guys.
played AD&D, and I can tell you one thing: I don't want to say THACO anymore.
What's your THACO?
God.
I
Oh,
remember
gosh.
that.
So that's
Your
Spectre's
BAB.
collection that he
Does-
just
okay.
bought.
Base
I told him that
attack
better
Does
last
anybody
more than
here
a week.
not know what THACO stands for?
Probably.
Jordan, do you know what
dating
THACO
ourselves.
stands for?
You know, I have forgotten what it stands for. I remember the word, and like, it's like right on the
So it
tip.
starts off with 2. Next word.
Hit.
To
Yeah.
hit armor class.
And it's just think
Over.
of Shadowkin.
No,
To
don't think
hit
of me,
armor
please.
class.
To hit armor class 0.
we go.
That's right. That's right. To hit armor class 0. God, that brings
Awesome.
back memories. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Hot armor class,
I
too.
I
Got a
played
lot of help from the community there.
I played some D&D back in the early middle 80s. So being
Yeah,
the
so
old guy in the room here.
And
And then I was completely out of that nerd community for 30 years. And I played
That's
D&D
almost how long
RPG
AD&D
games.
lasted.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I played just mostly single player D&D games, like so. And we've been talking about this in the community a lot here lately. I guess everybody's been all reminiscent, but Pool of Radiance on the Commodore 64 back in
Oh man.
way
it's really
way
funny.
back
We
when.
started off the show saying we were going to do a short show tonight.
Yeah.
It's Joe.
And I said right then, that'll never happen if we say that. I see we're right on track.
Right on track.
right on track for having a good show, hanging out with everybody.
Oh, boy.
Okay,
Do I have
so-
to pronounce every O, Joe? Whoa.
So
But that leads
Yeah,
to what
Deceiver
I've been
Rec
doing
naming that.
this week. Besides
Yeah,
working,
Jordan.
I've been playing besides Star Citizen with the community and Mystic and friends. On the side, I've been fitting in Pillars of Eternity 2, which Stem recommended to me
Good game.
when we were in Vancouver. And
That was a while ago.
yeah,
Jeez.
this
But
is
just
how I
getting
kind of
around
get around to
to
things
it,
eventually. Yeah, it's like, you know what? That
Sales
sounds like a
only
good
come
idea.
on every so
It's
often.
over a year
Well,
and a half
and that's
ago.
true too. They had a sale. It was a small sale, and I was a couple of weeks ago. I was saying, okay, well, you're going to have all this lockdown. Should get a couple extra games to play in between stuff when I'm not doing other stuff. And I got Pillars of Eternity, and just absolutely love it. It's so much like the old Baldur's Gate. The single player isometric view 5-party system where you mix your different classes and you pick up different people as you go, and you add people and kick people from your party depending on what you're doing. And it's just like that old great feel from Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter's Nights, and going all the way back to Pillars of Eternity,
Baldur's Gate.
Pool of Radiance.
Full of
So-
radiance.
Yep. So that's what I've been doing. I'm playing Star Citizen. We're still having our every few day events. I've missed a couple because my wife's been very, very crazy over this whole germ thing. But
Yeah, my wife's been crazy too, but she's not being like your
Not
wife. She's
totally, yeah.
some people deal with stress differently. I'll say
Well,
that.
and it's
So
and it's
people
not
create
just-
their
I-
own stress.
and a lot of people, and everybody's dealing with some stress right now. It's regardless of what our situations are and how much we're affected. Some people are terribly affected. A lot of people are out of work, that sort of thing. But a lot of people that have, especially in the community, because I've talked to a lot of people, and if not just the people in the community, their spouses or families or parents have anxiety or depression or other mental health issues that they wrestle with on a regular basis before all this happened and created all this additional stress. And my wife has pretty severe obsessive compulsive disorder and anxiety disorder and germophobia and a little bit of a hypochondriac for as long as we've been married for 21 years. She was doing really well actually until all this happened. So it just has spun out of control. But today was actually a really good day. So I'm hoping that
Good.
now that we've been isolated enough, we haven't been ordering anything in that might contaminate the place. We're fully stocked for
Yeah.
weeks, other than
Nice,
beer,
nice, nice.
which is important to me. I wish I could sneak in some beer somehow.
Don't you have like a process for when stuff arrives to totally like decompress?
Carson, thanks for the tip, buddy.
Yes.
You are the man.
Yeah, so I don't go to the
Oh
store.
wow, nice
I'm
one, Carson.
ordering
$50.
in. Oh wow,
Oh.
thanks, Carson. You're awesome,
Good
man.
job, man.
Yep. So I did the whole order in, receive it. It gets dropped off on the front porch. I go out there and I carefully wipe everything down with disinfectant wipes. I put refrigerator
Nice.
stuff into new bags,
Okay.
very very carefully. I come into the house without putting my shoes on. I put them in a new bag, set them inside the door, go around, take off my shoes, go in, take the bags, take them carefully into the kitchen, and then I individually wash everything that's frozen and refrigerated for 20 to 30 seconds with lots of soap. Soap does actually kill the virus if you have 20 to 30 seconds.
Especially a degreaser like dish soap.
Good,
Simple
good dish
Green.
soap. Yeah, and just good dish soap.
If anyone knows what
is
Simple Green is,
Or a fairy.
actually the
I was
most
in the
Very
military. I
clean.
know what Simple Green is.
Simple Green's awesome. Yeah, it
Yep,
murders
yep.
it.
So so just wash it
I
down.
use Dawn Mystic.
And then everything else I wipe down, and then we set aside for a week because my wife is concerned. So not just a couple of days. The cardboard
A
needs.
week.
But, yeah.
That bunny lasted
It
like
only lives on cardboard
72
for
hours.
74 hours.
72 hours. What,
So-
between you and the wife or just you?
you saw what happened to it. No, so hold on. The rest of the bunny has been diced up and put into boxes and put in the fridge because cold chocolate's the best chocolate.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. You eat it slower too.
yes.
No.
Do you
Yeah.
like
I
write each
disagree.
day on it? So
Like, when
this
you
is gonna
bite
be
into a
Wednesdays,
chocolate chip
chocolate,
cookie,
I should make like an
Thursdays,
advent
warm.
calendar out of it.
Yeah,
You
you
eat
should.
that warm chocolate chip. No,
Call it-
chocolate should not be cold.
What should we call it? The coronavirus advent calendar?
Oh,
Countdown to
God.
freedom?
We
Oh,
don't know
God.
when freedom will be.
Yeah, but you just keep ordering chocolate. And is there really
You
a
just
problem
keep
to
getting
this?
these month-long boxes of chocolate.
Ada says that one of his little brothers caught COVID-19 placing Pepsi cans and bottles on shelves from his merchandising job. So, and that's one of the things where, as much as we're all locked down, that kind of the central gathering point are grocery stores where everybody still has to shop if you're not ordering in, and our best wishes go out to the people working in hospitals. Everybody's thinking about them, but also people working in grocery stores.
Anybody
Mystic
that's working.
works in a bakery, and she's exposed to the public every day, and she sees the idiots that aren't paying any attention or maintaining 6 feet. So
Mhm.
best wishes to all of our community that has to still interact out there with people. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, I made a post about that. It was on Twitter, which was well received. But yeah, you guys are all heroes.
So Shadow, how is your week going? What are you drinking?
The usual.
Macallan 12, Macallan
it's
Gold, Macallan
no, like I said, I feel like
18.
yeah, no, it's just that I've got 2 cases of 12, which I'm down to 1 now. So, Yeah, I've been drinking a lot. But no, it's been great. Busy, very busy.
The great thing about being in the tech industry, right?
Yeah, no, it's actually kind of cool because I've grown one business dramatically, probably like 300% in a month.
Which one? Your
It's
server
data
business?
center. Yeah, it's because I've
The
spun
data
up
center?
330 some VDIs in the last like 2 weeks. So
Wow,
it's
good for
been
you, man.
yeah, it's been crazy. It's been good, but I mean, then there's all the stuff that happens with the company Tim and I work for, and then
Just because all the people out there might not know what a VDI is. I mean, obviously we do, but
It's
can
a
you maybe
dis-
tell
it's
No
a
idea.
dis-
other people what
it's a
VDI
Thanks for the
is?
Twitch
disease.
Prime sub, like today.
No, it's just a virtual desktop. So a lot of my customers have, or you normally go to an office and work. Well,
VDI
they're
means
working on
virtual
machines anyway
desktop.
that are VDIs. Well, now they've sent everybody home, and now people who didn't have them now have them.
Okay.
So,
Virtual desktop interface?
Yep.
Okay.
Basically lets you work on the same thing that you normally would work
Instance.
on
It's
anywhere.
virtual desktop instance.
Oh, what? Okay.
Instances.
Why is it not called just a virtual machine?
Because it's not.
Because it's
It's
different.
very much not a virtual machine.
Yeah.
It is not
it's-
persistent. It does not exist in it is a profile on a server, essentially,
Right.
Okay.
with some storage assigned to
Yep.
it.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I always called that a
So
virtual
it's.
machine.
I've also. I have a. I'm going to show you guys this. I had a funny conversation with a friend. This. She works at NASA, and this was actually a post they made. Look at this. Actually discussed in a virtual meeting today how to keep cats from accidentally commanding spacecraft while this work is going on and people are in homes with laptops instead of cats inside a free NASA building. It's hilarious. She actually had that conversation and I laughed. And I'm just like, that is the best Twitter post I've ever seen ever. So
That is awesome.
complete with the shirt that I actually have. So
It's like,
yeah.
what happened
I
to
thought that was-
Curiosity rover? Well, the cat.
Yeah, the cat's just okay. They're on their way to Mars. So that was definitely the highlight of my day. So but yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
Carson wants to know which VDI is it that keeps Tim from caring about the Discord and download. This is starting to feel like the day job, so we should probably move on.
Right. So
Yeah, ouch.
hey, but the one thing, when anyone that has cats out there, you can't let your cats outside because now with the whole
Oh
tigers
no,
getting
we're
COVID-19,
not one.
No, you
That's
can't do
that.
that.
It's not even verified. Okay. So
There are 7
Brooklyn-
tigers in one zoo.
the Brooklyn
the
Zoo
state
had
that all have
one.
it.
No, there's only one that is confirmed
Yeah,
that has it, and it's
one of them
only
has
a
it.
strain of it. So it's not.
Okay.
Okay,
So
okay,
not the
that's
same one
That's,
that
one
you-
of them
enough
is
co-
tested
That's
and
enough
has it,
COVID talk.
Anyway,
Let's
and
move on to
the
stars and
remaining
space
6 of
ships.
them are all sneezing and have symptoms.
All right, next one.
Yes. Let's- moving right along to our show.
Tim will
after we've
gladly
all
talk
caught up
about that
after
anytime
week.
you want. Yep. So how about
Yes, in the Discord, maybe.
Yes, in the Discord. He'll gladly
Yeah,
talk to you
That's
about
what
that.
the Discord
I'm
is
gonna
for,
bring my
Tim.
bunny knife over there.
Spaceships.
Oh,
And we
God.
actually have a lot of news to talk about. For a
News.
non-news, non-3.9 week, there was a lot of news.
Mm-hmm.
Did
So let's hit
did
it.
There
did
was
Let's hit it.
definitely
week one yet?
news.
No, it has not.
Oh, so you guys don't get the Prowler yet?
We're at 26 days and counting, and we'll actually
we
compare
actually-
that
We
with
do have
previous
that.
Evocati patches
that
and how long
note.
it's taken. We have a graphic.
All right. Before we dive in, if you do have questions, preface your question with the word question in brackets if you can, and we'll make sure we can see it as it flows by and try to answer those questions. If we don't get to that question before the end of the show, we will answer it at the end of the show.
Or the next show.
And get in the Discord because
We'll try
we're
and
very
get
active in the
them.
Discord except for Stim.
Except for he has his own Discord now.
Yeah, where is my knife? Where is my knife?
We love you, buddy.
We're gonna shame you into coming back.
If we shame you into coming back.
I am
That's
still
great.
here.
We love you, man. We
I
love
never
you.
left.
We love you.
You lie.
All right.
Okay.
First
Monthly
topic.
report. So tell us about Pyro, Jordan.
Thought we were gonna do the UEMC thingy.
That's
That's
not
the
his
first
name.
link.
His name is Joe.
His name is Yuho. Are we gonna talk about this first? Because I mean, we can't have a show without Stim doing a plug.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh,
Yeah, it's right above.
I didn't hear about that.
I'm actually
wanna talk about
following
this?
links.
It says
Yes.
3.9 Quantanium mining contest, but we don't have 3.9.
Quantanium.
Can we even talk about that?
So, before we dive into that, that's a very good question.
It's
Thank you.
it's
Thank you for bringing
UEMC.
this
Stim
up.
can talk about it. Oh,
So the UEMC is launching a contest which is going to last for the duration of 3.9.0. So until 3.9.1 comes out, they are going to be having an Everybody Mine Quantanium contest. You have to be a member of the Discord. I believe you have to be a member um, of the actual organization, but if you zoom in and we can read it, we'll be able to tell.
zooming in is difficult on this, so it's a weird image.
Well, it's open to UEMC specialists, employees, contractors, and ambassadors. So you have to be a member or an ambassador. An ambassador doesn't actually have to be a member of the org. But if you enjoy the mining, then go and join in because it's a great time. They're an amazing bunch of people, and they do mining together every Monday. So if you're bored on a Monday
Mining Mondays.
yeah, go ahead and join up. You can ping me as well. I'm happy to refer you on. It's a great time.
He doesn't
So-
do anything with them.
Do you even Star Citizen with your UEMC, bro?
Do you even UEMC, bro?
I
Love you, buddy.
will.
I will.
In
Eventually.
3.9, he will.
When the time is right. No, I actually wasn't gonna play Star Citizen on Friday's stream, but we ended up playing, or Tuesday's stream, and we ended up playing it anyway and had a blast. So yeah, I wasn't gonna play till 3.9 anyway. So I feel you.
Yeah, so
brother.
you guys got into the server, and Mystic and I were on a hunt for an area. We were trying to see if we could walk between the buildings in New Babbage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we of course blew up. But we did find a nice area to walk around in kind of similar area to where we've been driving Cyclones. We've been doing a lot of Cyclone driving around New Babbage lately because it's a great city. It's the most beautiful freaking city. Just absolutely
It
love
is.
it.
I cannot
Day
wait to
and
stay
night.
at 3.9.
It is
Yeah.
so beautiful. Yeah, it's gonna be great once we can get inside.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. The Zivarek tips $100 dues.
What?
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 Oh, thanks, man.
Please
Man, we're gonna have to raise the limit now.
C-Rack is awesome.
Yes,
We're
we're
gonna have a big giveaway tonight
bombing my channel
we're
too.
we're
and I
already
really
at-
love it.
at our normal target of close to $250.
Well,
Something I'd like
I-
to give away.
I do the usual, and I go ahead and I reset it anyway, just because.
So our-
Oh, let me
our
check to
normal
see what the
target?
actual. Let me see what the actual
What do you have to give away, Doc? Another prowler?
income.
No, at 275, I'll give away a carbon edition mole.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Ooh, That's a
Spectre
nice.
said that he
that's a
donated
nice giveaway.
$25.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember that
thanks,
happened?
Spectre.
He's already renamed.
We missed
He
that.
already renamed
Oh,
you.
Yeah, he already
he
renamed
renamed
you.
me.
He renamed
Oh.
you.
Oh, I
Nice
didn't even
one.
see that.
Nice one.
I've
We-
been.
we-
we've been-
We
we've
got to
been
call it
renamed.
out, man. We can't miss
There's
those.
a-
Can't miss those.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
we gotta-
there's
we gotta
one
talk about
pending
that.
for Shadow that should have been me, I think, but whatever. So
Are you supposed to be renamed as well?
there's one for Shadow to rename him Easter Rummy.
Oh,
You're dropping another
that's good.
$50.
EOD operator
Wait,
wants
what?
to know
Oh,
what,
I
wow.
missed that
Chris.
one.
what we need to donate to get to a
Easter
prowler.
Rummy. Okay, so Carson, what does Easter
Guys.
Rummy mean? Because that is, you got me on
It's
that
so
one.
good.
What does it mean? I mean, Rummy's not
It's like
bad.
it's
I
like
wouldn't say
rum,
that it's
Rummy,
mean,
and Easter Bunny all
bitch.
matched in
says-
one.
Inspector says, "Notice me, bitch. Don't ignore my gold."
Noticed.
Is that enough notice, Spectre? Pay
Yeah.
enough attention to you?
Mhm.
Okay, there's a question. EOD operator has a question.
Okay.
It is
Wow.
how much do I have to donate to get the real Shadowkin to down his drink? Ooh.
Not much.
Let's
Not
let's
much.
see the
Wait, wait a
see how
minute.
much is in that bottle?
Not
In
much.
that glass?
No, not the bottle.
all you have to say is, that's a pretty light pour, Shadow. I can't believe you can't finish
Well,
it.
no, I've been working on it since here. I've just been talking too much, so
Oh, look at that.
I don't know.
Finish my beer.
Alright, so
I'm,
it's
I'm thinking
$1.98.
$5.
Yeah.
I finished my
Yeah,
beer.
$5. $5. That's enough.
A $1.50.
Okay.
We all know the more that Shadow gets drunk,
yeah.
the more he gives away of his own stuff.
Oh yeah, I've given. So if you guys didn't know, I mean, I know you guys know, but the people watching this show don't know. I've had 16 arrows. I gave away every single one of them. So
Didn't you have some extra vanguards you gave away? Too?
I had 8 vanguards and I only have
I
one
gave
left.
away a shitload of Vanguards, too.
Uh,
we have given away so many ships on the show.
yeah, basically, it's an in and out policy. So the last ship that-
Jets talks about the Big Benny vending machine.
Oh, I gave away a Big Benny's machine. I gave away my other Big Benny
Super
machine.
rare.
Oh, actually, I have another one, and I gave that away on my Real Shadowkin show. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah. Needless to say,
And you get
a
a
lot of
javelin, and you
scotch has
get a javelin,
disappeared.
and you get a javelin.
Last
And you
week,
get a
I gave
javelin.
away.
Hey, Odin, thanks for the sub.
Cool. Thanks,
Lyle is
Odin.
actually Lyle is
Lyle. Wow, what a
actually
tip,
no,
man.
I know who Lyle is.
smoke.
Oh, thank you,
I've sent him stuff. Odin, thanks for the resub. 1 year, man. That's awesome. That means you've been
Wow,
subbing
guys.
since day one.
Yep.
Yeah, just about.
Odin's quiet. We don't see him talk much. Or her. Sorry.
Yeah.
Them.
Hey, there
Them.
we go.
Isn't them like just putting them all in one
Yes.
box?
Close enough.
Isn't that a negative label?
For right now, it's good. Let's
No.
just move. We love you.
So
How about that?
It might be-
You fabulous
what is
person.
the Canadian? What is the politically correct
Can we
Canadian
just say you
designation
fabulous
for?
person?
If you don't know their gender, it's they,
Non-
them. It's not hard.
Non-gender decided, non-gender affiliated.
Non-binary entity.
Isn't there a Q like in like LBJQRS?
LGBTQ. And then it's
questionable.
like,
Oh God. Anyway, moving right along. Oh, I got another name coming
Moving
in.
right
along.
I got another
Something.
name coming in. T-Nicer's gonna
But-
do it. All right, here we go.
But you can't say like saying it's like saying them. It's like it's wrong.
they're wrong.
It's totally
Them is
wrong.
a singular, gender neutral word.
I don't like it.
Well,
Okay,
English doesn't
we don't like
your-
a lot of things you say either. So let's
You
just
don't
move
like
on.
them? How can you not like them?
I
they.
like them. I just don't like the word them.
But them, they. Man, you were sensitive. I love you,
Sit
man.
upside on the
But
war
man,
horn,
you're
dude. I'm coming after
I
you.
don't like it. It just it triggers me.
All right, let's go.
And if I was one of them, I probably wouldn't like it either.
One of
You
them,
are
what
one
do you
of
mean by
them.
that?
Yeah.
We're all one of them.
I didn't know I was one of them.
Them or they.
Do I
Wait.
want to be one of them?
I'm just gonna start
We
talking
actually
about
have
the
a
I don't want to be called
show.
one of them.
So moving along with our show.
Yes, the shoe.
We thought we had a show to do tonight, but we're
That's what
actually
we
just
do.
bullshitting
Star
because
Citizen
Just
Monthly
hang out.
Report.
we miss hanging out.
The show starts on.
$50 to mute Spectre for the whole show is free to anybody. Anybody wants to throw in $50?
Don't be too mean to Spectre.
Yeah, let's
Give
not
Spectre a hard
mute
time.
Spectre.
Somebody
Spectre's-
asked how much it costs a meeting for the whole
Spectre-
show. I'm just
Spectre's a
talking
good
cat.
Spectre will just start pinging you directly
On
Discord.
And I'll
Discord,
let him.
yeah. As soon as I muted him already, he's pinged me on Discord.
I'll just start relaying all of his messages.
Carson says I'm one of them. Well, I guess I am.
One of us. One of us.
One of us, one of them.
Yeah,
One of them.
I'll let the
The
topic
very
go during
first
the
topic on our show.
Yes.
So
Oh my
okay,
God.
Not actually the first
so
topic.
the
but
monthly
yeah.
report. That is the
Monthly
first topic.
Excuse me.
First topic.
Hmm.
We need to
Um,
hurry this up. Let's speed run.
Yep,
So-
speed run.
speedrun.
How fast
let's-
can you read?
I can be pretty quick.
Let's just
Out
talk
loud,
about this.
I can read the first one.
Let's talk
Oh,
about
that
this.
looks nice. I
Oh,
like
everybody's
that.
excited about the electron beams.
Yes,
Electron
yes.
gun.
I just want to go here. Stand over there. Stand over there.
So they were
We're gonna
also
have so much
talking
fun
about.
killing stem with one of those.
They were also talking about special effects from being shot by the electron beams.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It'd be like the scene out of Star Wars. Yeah, where he finally gets Palpatine. Yes, that.
that Die Hard says ribbed for our pleasure.
That's definitely ribbed.
It's ribbed for someone's pleasure.
There's something going on there.
It's got some French ticklers going on too.
but-
It's got a lot
I like
going
how
on
it
there.
looks like
These are
it-
going to be in 3.9.
Oh.
In the monthly report, they said 3.9, so we hadn't seen them in
That
any
looks
of
like it's
the
gonna hurt.
patch notes for.
For all you
for- yeah,
gun
but-
loving people out there, what is the term for when you are like counteracting the shot using the energy of the weapon to kind of
Blowback.
to stop the
Recoil?
blowback recoil? Yeah.
Well,
Recoil.
recoil is the action. Blowback is what counters the recoil.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
love how it looks like it has lots of blowback.
No, but that would be the
Sounds
wrong
wrong.
direction. Actually, it would be.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
it would be
would be-
making it much worse.
it's an electron beam.
Yeah, it
Doesn't
wouldn't have any anyway.
recoil.
Yeah,
But it
wouldn't
looks like it has
And
vents
thanks, Gin and Tonic.
pushing backwards.
Yeah, I think
and
I
out.
think they're vents. I think they're
when you
definitely
plug
vents.
in your cell phone,
Yeah.
do you get some recoil from that? Like,
It depends on what you're plugging it into. This car battery over here.
recoil, plug it in your cell phone.
That-
Plug it into your battery wall.
So Stim Dalamar is I think addressing his comment to you. It's like you in capital letters, you gun loving people, you people. Like,
Yes, you're quite
being,
right.
You're being a little.
Quite right.
He loves to.
I'm just talking about them.
He just likes to classify people.
And remember, you're one of them.
Labels. It's all
He
about
loves
Respect
labels.
him
labels.
with 420.
I was trying to
Uh-huh.
be funny by saying you gun
We
loving
can't
people. I love
promote
guns
marijuana
too.
on this show.
I love
I don't
guns.
have any.
All right.
None
So
that do any real damage.
also we had the Microtech clothing, which I don't know. I'm not a real fan of. Although I do like the fact that I can have a stock report on my chest. You're like, oh, how am I doing today? Just ask the cat.
but awesome.
So, new
You
outfits
can't
that
read
we saw in one of the ATV, not the ATVs, whatever they call them now, inside Star Citizens.
Yeah. Those pants on the right look like they belong in the Blue Oyster Bar. Just saying.
Yeah.
They belong in a lot of
I wish
places.
that we just had some
Not in a club that I'm in.
normal future clothes.
Why? Why would you want normal?
How do you know this isn't normal in the future?
Yeah, this is normal in the future.
It's 900 years.
Yeah.
Anything's
Ha-
possible.
This is how
Have you
things dress.
seen Marty McFly in the Back to the Future things? Like you've got auto drying clothes and
That was
Yeah,
fun.
Back in
Well,
2015.
but also a
Yeah,
lot of these are,
I
are
remember
jackets.
flying
So
cars in 2015. It's a shame they didn't
What-
stick around.
what if you don't need to wear a big jacket? What if you're wandering around inside your ship or inside of a building and you just want to wear just a nice, dressy, casual outfit?
what's the
What if?
problem?
What's the problem?
we are,
Yeah.
we
Is-
get them
is
chit
that-
chatty
is
and
that
talk about
purple
everything.
jacket not a light jacket?
Yeah,
I like
it's
purple
like
jacket.
I don't know. Maybe for Canadians that's normal clothing, but
Well, it's because
I'm not
it's
saying I
cold.
wear that, but
It's cold weather.
Yeah.
I've seen that before in Canada.
yeah, it's like in Canada everybody wears jackets indoors.
Yeah.
Every day of my
and
ship
what's
is
wrong
Naked
with,
Friday.
What's something wrong with gravity in the future? Everything is so heavy.
Okay, so some of the high points from the monthly report I'll run through fairly quickly. That Pyro is an unfriendly and hostile system, and the opportunity to create something more otherworldly and dangerous looking is a nice challenge and a change of pace for us, the environment team says. So it's like, so they're designing some pretty cool new planetary environments. I know that some of the innermost planets are like lava planets and like superheated. So we're going to see some really interesting stuff there. So it was kind of cool. And then as yet
As if we
unseen
didn't,
ship-
as if we didn't die enough already.
yeah, right.
So, with that being a thing, then why don't we have like air conditioning, cooling jackets?
Maybe
Because I'm
we
pretty
will.
sure air conditioning is going to
When
help
it
you
comes
on
to
a
Pyro.
lava planet.
Hey,
Haven't we got new
Are you
outfits for
kidding?
almost every new landing zone?
Yep, we have.
yes.
So
Yes.
I would expect new cooling environmental suits for
Yeah.
Pyro. And because I think they did actually talk about that.
But do they have to be like suits? Can they just be clothes? Like it's really
Well,
hot out
I don't
there?
think you're going to be outside on a lava planet without any atmosphere in just regular clothes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's warm places that don't have to be on a lava planet.
Right, like
Um,
Aberdeen, where it's 430 C.
Or Tatooine, which rhymes with Aberdeen.
Oh, brother.
With the prison on Aberdeen. Like
It was
you,
officially the longest name that we were allowed. Count the
you don't-
characters.
Don't worry, you'll go there
Tatooine.
one day.
EOD operator says that after working from home for over a month, it's really going to be hard to wear pants to work. I suspect they'll traverse over to my Star Citizen gaming. Like we need to have cargo shorts in Star Citizen.
Yeah.
No,
I don't wear
because Robert
pants
said
to
no
work
cargo
anyway,
shorts.
so.
In 2014, he put a strong no on cargo shorts.
One of the stretch goals was to never have cargo shorts.
Ah, yeah, it was probably. I could
we
totally
we
believe
funded that stretch goal in like a day.
Yeah, I think it was less than a day.
But there will be environment suits for high heat environments as well as
Yes.
low heat environments, like freezing
So
environments.
the next interesting item was that an as yet unseen ship completed the white box stage and will head into gray box soon. So that's many months out, but we don't know what that is yet.
Yep.
So it sounds like a direct to flight ready ship for maybe later in the year.
Woohoo!
Yep.
Several older ships were updated to work with the latest shaders, preparing them for the tent palette system. I'm
Woo!
wondering if that is working towards that in-game color customization that we got with the 300 series.
Probably.
Don't know, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could be.
I
know if I can say what it
thought
is.
I thought it was an interesting way to phrase that and highlight that specific item. For those of y'all who have a lot of time sitting at home doing nothing right now, go read the monthly report because there is so
There
much
is a lot in there, especially
meat
this month.
Yeah.
in there. I mean, there's so much meat in there. And one of the other things I want to emphasize about that is, a lot of people say, well, 3.9 is light, 4.0 is light. These light patches, it's all bullshit. But when you look at it, there's a lot of under the hood type of stuff that they're working on, and like the stuff to do with the networking and the physics refactor that they were talking about. Is actually has to do with multi-core threading. So I was wondering about that because they said that the physics refactor is what caused the desync in 3.8, and everybody was thinking that it had something to do with physics and gravity systems and ship physics and that sort of thing. But apparently, when they're referring to physics in games, some of that is actually to do with their actual network processing and multi-core systems. So it's way over my head, but you guys go read that in a monthly report. Well worth it. We already covered the lightning bolt sniper rifle, microtech clothing, engineering working on physics threading and performance, the multi-core threading. That was that physics thing that I just mentioned. Lots of work on Vulkan rendering. So, and it seems like a lot of the networking team is focused on really getting things converted over to the Vulkan rendering system, which is really good to see because that's going to have
No, I
Holy
mean-
shit.
What?
I have not played Doom Eternal, but I watched the Digital Foundry analysis of the tech for Doom Eternal. Holy shit, that looks freaking amazing. And the quality that they achieved at 60 FPS and above was just crazy.
No, yeah, it was.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's
And,
great that's great use of technology, and they had the opportunity to do that because I mean they wrote a game within what 2 years. So
How
I
long
mean,
did
it wasn't
Doom
even
Eternal
that.
take, Doc?
Doc's not there.
How many years?
No, I heard it was from start to finish it was 2 years.
2 years. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, but I was kind of curious. EOD operator says that the only thing that scares me about the development of SC right now is the food system. I hope they don't make it too invasive with lack of things to do. The last thing I want to do is to stop doing the one thing I like to do and have to eat and drink every 15 minutes. That they were already
They're not
pretty
gonna do
clear
that.
about that.
No.
That you may only have to eat to eat like once a day, maybe twice a day, in an 8-hour play session. So. Chris Roberts from the beginning, and they've reiterated that over the years, is that they want to make this as realistic as possible, but fun is the most important
Right.
thing.
Yeah, you
and
gotta have
as
fun.
they introduce things, they may go for more realism.
Eat like a
and then
gamer.
Yeah, and then scale it back to where it's fun.
Carbs.
Yeah, so I completely agree with a lot of things about that.
Yeah.
I don't like survival games at
I
all
love
in
survival.
any way.
I love them.
Yeah, it's like real life is a survival game. I don't like to have to do that in a virtual world.
No, I think they'll come up with the right mix. You know, because they're gonna get a shit ton of feedback. So
they'll have
it'll be
good
good.
balance.
Yep,
No,
it'll be good.
it's definitely not, and they've been very, very clear about that. So it's very, very minimal.
You'll
Right.
need to give us a hotkey
Yep.
to remove our helmet, though. And it's not on the
Yeah.
stupid wheel.
Yeah, just basically hot pockets, right?
Hot pockets.
Hot
There's
pockets.
burgers and hot dogs and burritos.
Do they have corn dogs?
Power bars
I like corn and ice cream sandwiches.
and ice cream cones.
Nice. And a new law was crafted to cut down on pad ramming. So I'm very curious as to how that's going to be implemented. I did hear that that was going to immediately impound a pad rammer ship, but how are they going to know if it is the person, is the ship? What if a pad rammer steals your ship and pad rams, and your ship gets impounded and you get a crime stat? I'm not sure how that's going to implement. Hopefully,
How are they going to steal your ship in Armored Stone?
they do it all the fucking
They do it all the time, dude.
Almost all the pad rammers are
Otter and I were on the
stolen
other
Carracks
night,
and
we
890s.
totally just,
Almost
oh,
all
there's a
of them.
Vanguard, we'll take that.
Like I talk to people all the time. It's like, some asshole stole my Carrack, stole my 890. What you're doing at Olisar with an 890 or a Carrack, you shouldn't have been there in the first place. But they're always saying, yeah. Well, I'm just saying,
How does a ship survive pad ramming?
the ones who
Okay.
get
Most of the
rammed.
time it doesn't.
Yeah, a lot of times
well,
it doesn't.
The Carrack and the 890 and the Hammerheads are the ones that, and it's mostly Carracks and Hammerheads that they're using. I've seen freelancers, but it's usually the bigger ships, and they get out there and they just start slamming into the small ships, and it's like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, it's basically like hitting a gnat at 300 miles an hour in a car.
It's bad.
Nothing.
It really is. So
Physics, man. Physics.
but hopefully they're thinking through what's actually going on, and they have the penalties for the people that are actually piloting this ship, not the
Yeah.
owner. Et
Right,
cetera, et
that's the
cetera.
way it should be. I
And
mean,
then
just
they
like in
added
real
fuel-
life, if you go off and steal a car and you go off and, run into a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
and drunk drive, it's the driver's fault. So, yeah, I mean, that's
the car gets
obvious.
impounded too.
Well, yeah, the car gets impounded. Of
Yeah,
course.
but
So
if it
you're
was a
gonna lose
stolen
your
car,
stolen ship, it still
Yeah,
gets
it-
impounded, and
But-
it's
That's
not,
when you get the insurance company to go after him with one of those shyster lawyers.
Yep.
Whoa,
That's what's coming
I don't
next
think we
in
can-
4.0, shyster
I don't
lawyers.
think we can use that word.
Oh, didn't we talk? Oh, we were talking
What,
about that
lawyers?
in game on
Yes.
on Monday night when Monday Night Shenanigans with the Yacht Club folks were talking about how the next ship is going to be a lawyer ship, and they're going to be chasing after they're going to be chasing the Apollos. The
Nice.
ambulance ship chaser ships.
Yeah, totally. Hey, do you have an insurance policy?
Sounds like a job
Like-
for an Aurora.
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 And the last thing that kind of jumped out at me from the monthly report was 2 new staff were added in the technical animation team last month. So they continued to add staff. They're over 650 people, primarily developers. Like a lot of people say, it's like, well, they're not all developers. They've got janitors and they got secretaries, stuff like that. If you look at the actual breakdown, and they actually show it on their financials that they publish on Cloud Imperium Games, their non-development staff is tiny.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it should be. That's like our company.
Yeah, well, with a good
I only
lean,
have
with a good
Stim.
lean
He's
company.
the only non-developer we have. No, I'm just kidding.
If you look at like EA, it's like they're like what half management or something.
No, I know. I totally agree. And I think I love that fact. It's like people actually doing work. Every single company I've ever been involved in has so many chiefs and so few Indians, and then they wonder why nothing gets done. It's like,
Or-
hello.
Origin luxury litigation vessel. I like that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Aviate our network. I'm
Thanks for
assuming
the
that's aviator, not the aviate. Well, there is no
Aviator.
aviator.
AV.
So I guess
To
it,
aviate?
well, no, I mean there's the
Is it a word?
aviate, the actual Harrier. I didn't know if there was an R version, but anyway,
There's
yeah.
not.
Okay, let's follow.
No.
Okay,
To
moving right along.
aviate is to pilot or
Moving right
fly
along.
an airplane.
Or be a bird. Think
Uh,
about what
yeah,
that
so
was.
the-
Those are some of the high points from the monthly report, and then we got the newsletter on Friday.
The
and
newsletter. Can't see my thing.
Throw that up there, and
It's up.
yeah, we got
The thing
a,
is up.
Star in a white box.
Which look nice. Little
So
ways
That
out
looks really
still.
good.
Usual. It looks like what we thought it was going to look like.
Yep.
I'm really excited.
It's looking really good.
I forget
think
what
you
her
should
name
just
is,
put it
but
out
she's
like that.
Doing a good job making it.
Yep. Agreed.
I forget
So.
what her name is. So it's like Sam or
Sa-
Susan.
Sarah McCullough.
Sarah.
Sarah McCullough.
I
Just
the
ask
first
Jordan.
letter
He
right.
knows everything.
Did you say Sarah McLaughlin?
No, we did
Sarah
not.
McLaughlin.
Stim's favorites.
So what else? Nothing else on the
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff in
not a
the
whole lot
weekly
there.
newsletter, all the usual kind of thing. What I thought was really interesting is that some of the devs have been super active on Spectrum lately,
Oh
and
yeah. Speaking
you
of,
you can find that using the developer tracker, if you Google Star Citizen Dev Tracker. And there tons and tons of questions have been answered. Vulkan,
like this
within
one.
yeah, with DirectX, that was one of the ones where Ben
Vulkan.
Perry is one of their
Mm-hmm.
lead engineers, and so he was talking about that. And then there was another one later over the weekend, or actually that was on
If
Sunday.
there's
No,
another
it was
one, I
also
don't
Ben.
have it.
Yeah, it was no, it was all the way down at Monday. Also Ben Perry. So Ben Perry had a couple of threads where he had a lot of things that he was talking about.
We'll get to that later.
He was just talking about how they're moving over to Vulkan and they're going to be getting off of DirectX completely here in time.
And more importantly, how
oh,
they're doing it. That was
sorry,
that
Mystic.
was
She went to go get an ice cream sandwich.
nice. Sorry.
How'd you do that?
Could blame us. No, what I love about this is the fact that, you know, it's like you said, first of all, it's devs coming forward, who's the actual people doing the work, answering the questions, which is great. But it's also clearing up a lot of clarification like this, because this is really hard work. You know, managing 2 APIs to get through to there, and then being able to, I mean, think about how long this is really going to take. Even though they're still in the development phase, this is going to take at least a year or more just to get that cleanly over. So
and they've been working on it for almost a year. So we don't know how much longer, but it seems
so we should be pure Vulkan. I'm hoping by Squadron 42. I'm hoping.
Yeah. No, the feeling that I really get from them is that they're looking to transition by mid-year, maybe third quarter. They're really pushing hard to get that over, and they've been working on it for quite some time. And I think that's going to be such a major impact on performance and quality. But also one of the other things is when you think about the pace of development, and people complain that they're not going fast enough, and like this, that, and the other.
We know that guy.
I always get triggered about that they're having to work with these legacy systems. So the Persistent Universe came out at the end of 2015. So that was 4.5 years ago, and they're still working with that original tech, and they have to leave that in playable, like Port Olisar. It's the same Port Olisar that has been there for 4.5 years. And a lot of the basic underlying tech, they're having to run simultaneous systems as they transition to all of the new stuff, and like running on DirectX while they're also trying to transition to Vulkan at the same time creates tremendous complexity. And I think a lot of that contributes to the bugs that we see each time. Once they get everything unified into all the networking systems and graphical systems that they're going to have going forward, which may not be for another year, it's going to really streamline development tremendously. But I think we're getting to the home stretch of that here.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I mean, it's just the fact that they're just open with it, this open with it. I mean, and they're allowing, because I mean, a lot of companies like EA, devs aren't allowed to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, not their friends, not their family, not their, and they're allowing them to come straight out. I mean, granted, it's on their platform, but still, that is very cool. And that's serious props, because that is the best transparency you can get.
And we've seen a lot more of that here recently over the past few months. So I'm really happy with that. A lot of people complain that CIG doesn't put out enough information, but unfortunately, there's information in lots of different places that you really have to kind of look for, like these Spectrum posts. If I wasn't checking the dev tracker, and also if you aren't using what's Crunch's app that he came up with?
The thing with the guy. SC Tracker. There you go.
Tracker SC.
Tracker
CS. He doesn't even know what it's called.
Trackersc.com. Trackersc.com, developed by our very own Crunch One. So go there, sign up for it. You will get email updates about this. You can add it as a bot to your Discord server, and you'll get updates for every single comment of the devs, every change to the store, every new post. It really will keep you on top of things if you don't know what to follow.
Why don't we have that in? We have that in Yacht Club?
Um,
No, we don't.
What?
We might have it hooked up as a bot, but we definitely use it for show
I'm-
notes.
Yeah, I mentioned that before that we
We
should
need
probably
to get
add
that
a
in our
channel
channel,
for
yeah.
RSI updates.
Yeah.
We definitely should.
We should add a
Oh,
channel
we-
for all streamers and for all updates, like just a big updates dump channel. Yeah.
Well, I would like to have one that's
for
just
the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
All the community announcements.
Yeah,
should
community
be
announcements
there.
one, but I think
Right?
this tracker should have its
Doc's
own.
gonna
because
go
it's
crazy.
gonna be
Doc's
awesome.
gonna have a
Dr.
Doc's
Moo,
gonna-
it's Dr.
We'll
Moo.
talk about it after. We'll talk about it after.
Doc's
and
Yeah,
put it together.
Good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Well,
you,
and
friends.
unfortunately, I mean, how many people do we have in our Discord? I mean, how close are we to 1,000 now? I mean,
We're very
Pretty
close.
close.
we're getting
Yeah,
close to 1,000 people in our Discord. We have 914 people in
Yeah.
the Yacht
But
Club
it's-
Discord.
Where was that
It
setting
told
at?
me. It told me this morning that I was about to send an everyone post to 913 people.
Yep. Yep. And so we've got probably the best Discord anywhere of just a great community of active, casual,
916
talking
members.
every day.
Woo!
And
You guys
Yeah.
rock.
yeah, so and unfortunately, when you have such a large group, there's a lot of information sharing and needs and whatnot. So
So
Sorry, Doc.
EOD operator.
it'll never be as bad as the Jump Club.
So EOD operator has offered up his rename to chat. So
no.
if you have a vote,
Wow.
Oh,
yell it out.
need to do a
T Nicer
poll.
will take a track. We'll do a poll. You'll get to
Ooh, I
name
like
the
that.
next host, courtesy of EOD operator. Thank you for that. And please pick me, because I have no idea what Easter roaming means, and I feel it's incriminating.
It's a play on the word Easter Bunny. How do you not understand?
Nice
that?
one, Spectre. Your
Oh.
OCD is.
But I'm not. I don't
Ricky
give
Gonzo.
scotch away.
I
you gotta
know.
you gotta come to my bar to get scotch, and often it's usually gone.
Yeah. All that's left is empty.
Anyway,
bottles.
very cool. If you got a name for one of the hosts, EOD operator is throwing it up there. Yell it out in chat. Make sure T Nicer sees it. He'll put it in a vote, and we'll get you the
Yep.
next person renamed here.
And
Click
So-
some of the best
15
names.
$15 more makes me give away my ultra rare carbon mole.
We're
I have
almost
one
there.
of those, but I'm
Ooh.
not giving it away. Stimulate me, citizen.
Which is actually working on the Dr.
That's good. I like that one. All right.
So,
What are we giving away when we reach 1,000 Discord members?
ooh.
That's
pretty good.
Uh, what
We should do
are
some
you
We're
more
gonna
giving
give away
instead?
Doc's pirate
No.
cat.
I gave away
No,
a Knox
an
last
890.
week, and I
We'll give
wasn't
away
even
an
here
890.
for it.
I got a few of them.
You
Thanks,
get a
Doc.
virtual date with Doc Murray.
Thanks, Doc.
Oh
Let me
my
see if I
God.
have.
Yeah.
I think
Dark,
I've got.
Dark Winter. We gave away an 890.
We did give away an
a
890.
few months back.
That was a great show.
That was a great show.
That was a great
An 890, a
show.
Carrick, a Mercury Star Runner, and some other
Like-
stuff.
God, we
Like-
gave a lot of stuff that night.
84
like-
you, the operator.
Yeah.
80.
It was like $1,500
No, not
for a
84.
chipset.
We were-
We're like
Oh,
the
yeah, you're
worst
right, you're
casino
right, yeah.
ever.
The house always loses.
House always loses.
House
And,
wins.
1986. That's
by
right.
giving it away.
Okay.
Personally, yeah, that's it.
It's
We'll-
it's a non-profit casino.
Yeah, it really is.
Very
We'll
nice
figure out something
thing.
really cool when it happens. But yeah, and the same thing when we have follower goals and things like that. So.
And how close are we to followers on?
EOD, we have
Twitch?
914 members in the
13,
Discord right now.
23, nice.
916. I just looked at the number.
Oh,
Yeah.
we must have just added two because I
Yep.
checked it.
So the follower goal is at 1323, which should be correct. Yeah, 1400 is the next one on that one.
Yeah.
It really, at this point, we have no like goal. We're just basically setting a goal, but I mean, we feel like that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, but we should
Yeah.
do giveaways when we get there.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
all
yeah,
I mean, just,
sure.
just nice, fun milestones.
Gotta have goals.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll definitely
Yeah.
do something awesome. We just did Patreon giveaway last week. That was Mystic won the
Yes.
Superior Prowler, which was
Yes,
super
Mystic
cool.
finally
Yes.
won. She hasn't
Mystic
won anything
finally won.
like almost ever, and like felt so bad she hadn't won anything. So won
Gotta
the
have
Prowler.
goals. Damn
That was
right.
great.
Now, one of my
Yes.
friends needs to win something. So we can
One
trade
of your
drinks.
friends? Your friends?
Uno won something the other day,
No, he
Hmm?
a
didn't.
while back. Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't. He complains to me every day that he has not won anything on my show.
What? Does
Wait,
he
you have a
complain to
show or
you
this
thinking,
show?
thinking that you'd be able to do something about that?
Yes, he wants me to rig it for him. I keep telling
You
him I
get
don't
Doc
know
Love's
anything, but
affection and love and
Is he
respect.
in the show every single day?
he's not in the show
Every time?
day.
Well, every single
Oh,
show.
he's been here,
You
yeah,
got
for a while.
You only get to complain
be
if you're
every one.
here every show.
I'm
I
open-
told him
every
he
show.
should have been
I'm
here.
opening a new bottle for your
Still-
friend
it
then.
still isn't going to help with your odds, though.
Told him he
Well,
should have
it
been
will
here in
since
the
you're
early
here,
days
but-
when it was
Well,
like 20 people entering.
with-
Like, yeah, good
Well,
on
it helps to get into the Patreon subscriber, because then you get a whole
Can't wait
nother
if you're
one
not
with
there.
a smaller group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on with our actual show, which we actually have things to cover.
Great shoe.
So
We do have a show.
take it away, Stem.
well,
He
where
has no
are we?
idea
I
where
think
we're
we're
at.
at the roadmap roundup,
Roadmap
right?
roundup. Yes.
I'm
Okay.
glad. I'm glad
So-
that he's not the only one that doesn't know where we're at. But hey, look at that.
I had an idea. So Arlington Bounty, the Idris mission. So that was pushed to 4.0. I don't think it's a
Probably for the
surprise.
best.
Yeah, we want to make sure we get it 100%
Yeah,
right.
A
before
lot
we
of
get
people
playing
were
it.
so salty about that. Yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, you get a chance to murder an Idris. Yeah,
Well,
I'm kind of.
and I get that CIG put it out there as like, look, this is coming and this is going to be so cool, and everybody's like, oh my god, the Idris, we're finally going to have the Idris and all this, and it's like people got so hyped, and then it's not a. I don't think they really managed that very well, because I get the impression that I feel like
I feel
that
like
was
it was
kind
a
of a
server
last
performance
minute-
thing.
no, mostly it was a balance thing, because the whole server could not kill it. I think early on it died too quickly, and then the whole server couldn't kill it. And
I like
there was
this problem.
there were, and that's probably as intended. It is a massive military capital ship, not just a capital ship, and it's meant to be really, really, really hard to kill. People who own Idrises, they don't want to die to a bunch of people. It's like a half a dozen people with retaliators and
Yeah.
this and that.
I think 50 people attacking an Idris should be enough to bother them.
If they all have, if they're
Should
well
be.
coordinated with good combat
Yeah.
ships, I heard from a lot of Evocati that when they were running it, it's like it wasn't really that well coordinated. It wasn't like a well coordinated military operation.
That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Um,
there's never a serious attempt to blow it up.
Exactly. So, I had the feeling that this was kind of something like, hey, let's throw this in, and it was not a. I don't think they were planning that for the whole patch. I think that was kind of like, like let's throw this in and try it out, and it didn't really work very well. If they had taken more time to really test it internally, they might not have hyped it so much on the shows leading up to it, and then all of a sudden, sorry, it's not ready, we're going to push it back. So really just kind of a communication management, planning management thing. Sometimes CIG will drop things in unannounced that I think are fantastic. It's great because a lot of people feel like there's not enough stuff and people get knocked off or pushed back. But then we get stuff that we don't expect.
Yeah.
So it's such a tough balance for them. It really is. Really is.
I don't really care when the
Yeah.
hell stuff comes out, as long as it eventually comes out.
We get great stuff, not just every 3 months, but we get stuff in between the 3-month patches now. So
That's
I
what
mean,
makes it so awesome.
there's so much stuff all the time. They're so much faster than they used to be. People forget because they're spoiled and they forget 2.6. Remember 2.6?
Remember,
Yeah.
People need to be able to manage
Remember
their own
2.6.
expectations as well.
manage their own.
Fuck you, people.
There it is.
get salty,
Woo!
Just take a break and come back
We love
in
this
here.
guy.
You don't have
Come
to
in
wait
here,
to
have a
come back
drink.
Yeah.
No, we aren't going to
Come
give
back
you
in-
one for free.
Not even like 6 months
back
or
here.
Yeah,
you
come
know
back
next
every 6
quarter.
months.
3 months. 3 months. Come back
Yeah.
every quarter. Look at it,
I-
play it. If you get bored,
know,
wait till the
I-
next patch. Because
I-
this is what a lot of people have been doing: is skipping out for a couple of patches and then coming back. And
You
we've
know,
got this huge
I-
influx of players with 3.0.
I talk to a lot of I spend a lot of time in concierge chat, and I see these people and they come in every 3 months, and it's like, I came in, I played it, it's a mess, it's broken, I'll be back in 3 months, this sucks, and why can't they ever get it working and fixed? Like, well, maybe you should take a little bit longer in between patches to see a little bit more progress instead of just coming in briefly every 3 months, because you're not following in between, so you don't actually know what they're actually working on and why the performance is not good in 3.8. They went backwards in stability because it was the biggest freaking update since 3.0. So there's definitely trade-offs there. I see a lot of people come in every 3 months to test out the new patch, and then they bitch, and so they trigger me.
Apparently.
Okay, so there wasn't a ton of update. I'm sorry. Well,
Now
okay,
I'm
so
confused because you said they trigger you, and I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out who exactly that is.
Jesus Christ, everybody
the
that's not us. Let's just go with that.
It's you, Steph.
It's all their fault.
Anybody who uses they.
It's all their fault. Let's just go with that. Just be American for once. It's there. Just point the finger.
Spectre, you're free to re. You're free to re.
Re? Yeah.
So,
although Doc is gonna
He's on mute for an hour.
You're free to read, but it won't make you any younger.
No. It'll actually make me older. So there was no suggestions for naming hosts, or at least there wasn't too many. So EOD has said that you get to bring up 3. All right, so right now, you have to say 3 suggestions for my name.
That is
3 suggestions for my name. Quick.
Oh,
you got 30 seconds. Suggestions for renaming me, courtesy of EOD. Quick. 30, come on, quick.
Come on.
No, hosts cannot rename me.
Throw out some crazy names out there for.
Come on, quick. Come on, 3 names. Shadow Rim. Oh, God. Like Rim Shot? Guzzler. That's good.
Dr. Meow.
Okay.
I like that one.
That has to be one. Drunk
Shadow
Bunny.
Drink. Drunk Bunny. Drunk Bunny's a good one.
All right. Closing it out.
Turtle for the win.
10,
Dr. Meow. Drunk
9,
Bunny. Dr. Meow.
6, 4, 11,
Fake
1.
Shadow
Time's up.
Rim.
Okay. All right. So,
we should have a
Teenager,
poll.
you got to pick the best of those and put them in a
Best
poll.
of 3 or 4 there.
Best of the 3. But,
Cat Legion.
just as many as you got in there.
We are Cat
Linear likes Dr. Meow, but he got muted for some reason.
Scotchy McScotcherson.
Nico Kun. All right.
Scotchy
Teenagers are going to get those into a poll. You guys are going to get to vote. Courtesy of EOD operator. All right, let's move right on.
Move right along. So the M50 was also pushed back to 4.0. They're not quite done with that. I think that was kind of
Good. I hope it's
so
awesome when it comes out.
they
What do
said
you
that they're
think's gonna
redoing.
change on the look of that?
They said that they're redoing the exterior to bring it more in line with the other ships. I think it'll stay pretty similar, but it's going to get a little bit more rounded.
It's gonna be a freaking Shelby Cobra of the Star Citizen universe.
Well,
It'll have
I hope
a
they
giant
don't- I hope they don't
set of
lose the-
engines.
The glass
engine?
sort of engine view.
Oh
as
yeah,
well as the
totally agree.
fins on the front.
Totally agree with the
No,
glass
and-
engine cover.
I think it's just going to be a little more rounded than it was before.
Yeah, it probably will. I mean, I bet you they make it more like darty, kind of arrowy.
I bet you though that the one big
And snakes, many
controversial
snakes.
change that they will do that is going to cause the biggest
All right, the poll's up.
riot is going to be the engines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to bring the engines in line with the other 300 series and the Origin series, and I think that's going to piss off a lot of people.
And we don't care either way.
I personally hate the engines on the 350.
What?
Because
What?
they
That's the
don't-
best part of the freaking M50.
No, the
It's these-
350, 350R.
Oh,
The-
forget the
the
3. I don't care about the
350R
350. M50 is the best one.
Oh, but you're going to end up getting an engine, a rear engine that looks indiscriminate from the 300 series. It's going to have that same thing, which I think is fine on the other Origin ships. They've done a good job of it. But when
Wait,
you look
are we
at the
talking about the
350
M50 or the 350?
I'm doing an example comparison of what
talking
they
about
did
Okay.
with the 350
You're
and
moving
ruined
too
it.
fast for me there, Billy.
What,
They
what,
ruined
he's,
the
what he's
350.
saying, Easter Rummy,
They're
is
going to ruin the
they changed
M50.
the 350. They
Okay.
changed the 350 in a way that he does not agree with, but I think it's fine
Yes.
because it still has 2 engines.
But they pushed
It
the
doesn't
rework
have
back.
anything you can tell other than 2 little intakes on the top, which is
It's got 2 engines on the
Dude,
back.
that's the best
you
part of
can't
what we
see-
call a
you cannot tell
sleeper in the
anything
car
different
world.
on the back. That there is
Ah.
nothing different about the shape on the back.
Yeah, but
of the
that's
engines on the
what's
350.
great about.
It's
All right, so who
nothing
knows what a
different.
sleeper is? Who knows what a sleeper is? Like a car
I-
sleeper.
I used to drive one.
Yes,
I know what a
exactly.
sleeper is.
It's a 4-door sedan that you take to the go to to get the groceries,
I
and it
don't
looks totally
want a
inconspicuous.
But
And
it
then
has
I could give a
500
you
fuck
bucks
about
drop
a
the
sleeper.
freaking hammer, and you're at the
At the
next
wheel.
light while the
I could give a
asshat
fuck
and the little
about a
racers.
sleeper. The 350R looked badass with those 2 big engines on the back.
It's not the racers that you have to
looked-
worry about.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't have to worry about them.
Not them. Not them.
It's
Never
the
worry about
Camaros and Mustangs that I'd love to blow out of the water.
Yeah.
Made me laugh. Like they brand new Camaro. You could see on their face this giant smile. They're like, "Look at what I'm driving, brand
Yep.
new Camaro," and I'm like,
Yeah.
Scotchy
then-
McScotcherson won that one.
Scotchy
Give him
McScotcherson.
him
Hey,
a
that's a
little
good one.
engine rev.
I love
Who
it.
knows
Give him
says
little
you're a
engine
sleeper,
rev.
Doc?
They get
There
really
were
excited.
some good ones.
You're a sleeper.
I'm a sleeper. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, from the waist down.
Oh, wow.
Ah.
Nice.
Anyhow, so
Anymeow.
those were the 2 negatives on the roadmap roundup, and everybody ignored the two additions.
Well, yeah.
Grimhex
Thank you for voting for that. That's the best name ever.
Yeah, that was a great name. Got to admit. So Grimhex improvements. Finalizing Grimhex.
Yeah.
Hold
finally.
on. Sorry, Jordan. Doc, is
Finalizing
that
it.
your beard that's making the...
Oh yeah,
That's
get
my
your beard out of the mic. Get your mic out of the beard.
It's my shirt.
She's
My
too
beard is
sexy.
It doesn't
He's-
sound
He has such an
Because
act EMP,
Your
a
beard
natural
looks like a
EMP.
billy goat.
It's because your
What?
mic is limp.
What are you talking about?
You have a limp mic.
Rough.
Anyway, moving around.
Rough like
So
a-
Jordan,
Anyway, so finalizing Grimhex, making it a complete landing zone. Main changes will include new location branded utilitarian hangars accessible by the main hub and a scramble race.
Well, doesn't it
features
just rub on my
hidden.
shirt, my chest hair you're doing?
So that sounds like they're finally going to open the side asteroid hangars at Grimhex that have been there
Yeah.
for
oh, that
3
would be cool.
years. And they're finally going to have the scramble race that inside people. We used to glitch through there and see
Yeah.
that there was like this big interior thing
Yep.
where you like race through it somehow. So they're
Oh, and Aaron Cuzzy
Add
says
that.
large pads at Grim Hex. That would actually be cool too.
Yeah.
large pads would help for the Caterpillar, the Carrack, a lot of those ships.
For when you want to take out
may
your
not,
pirate.
They may not do a pad. They might just do a hangar.
Do hangers. I think they're just doing hangers.
There probably
and
enough
that's
room
probably
for it, yeah.
preferable. Yeah, for ship stealing, it's
Fair.
less likely to be stolen.
Grim Hex
and-
needs Ragast in the bar. I agree, his Divine Shadow.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And they need something other than schmaltz.
I
Fucking hate
love
schmaltz.
schmaltz.
That is the worst goddamn name for a beer ever. I get triggered
It's
every
just,
time.
it's the trigger show tonight.
What about Schlitz beer? Mm.
That's why I hate it.
Mm.
It reminds me of Schlitz. Schmaltz.
Hey,
and
Astro
Schlitz.
Jack, how's it going?
I think
Hey,
that was
Horton Hustle! Good to
Welcome.
see ya.
Rating with 29 people. Welcome to the Triggered Show.
To the Yachty Mc Silly Boat Show with Triggers.
Yes,
With
silly
Triggered
McBoat.
Welcome everybody. We have gone completely off the rails as usual. So
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
We're almost on. We're like half on a rail. We're like
What?
on one rail.
We're
What's
hanging
next
off one
for-
rail,
We,
air riding off.
we started
As
off
long as
off
we're
the
not
rails.
holding on to the third rail, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we're not on the third rail.
Don't
Don't
touch
touch the third
the middle
rail.
rail.
Unless you're bald, you can touch the third
Don't
rail.
eat yellow snow either. But we don't listen to
Yes.
any of those. So either way, moving
Yeah.
along.
Yellow
Move
snow
right
is
on.
lemon
So-
flavored.
So they also added a card to the 3.9 roadmap, which was not actually on there, but we knew that it was coming. Was the contact list refactor friends list unification card?
That
So
was the best thing about the Pillar Talk, which you haven't gotten yet.
that was one of the many great things about the Pillar Talk, but it's something they've been talking about for a while, and it wasn't on the roadmap. So again, like we were saying before, is a lot of times there's stuff that they're going to introduce that is not on the roadmap. So stop fucking bitching. There's nothing on the roadmap.
wait. There we go.
Sorry.
Bring it out.
All
Brings out the
all right,
best.
All right.
Yeah,
Next time.
moving on. The roadmap update. So we actually have the graphic of the roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bring it up. Bring
Sorry,
it
I
up.
lost
See
my.
it.
So
I
this is
lost my
by
mouse there
again.
for a
This is by
second.
Odysseus in the community. So he does this great consolidated graphic of the roadmap changes, updates, progress. Every month he puts it out on Spectrum and on his Twitter. He's a great guy out of France. He actually organized the first Tokyo Bar Citizen before he moved back to France. He was at university. So
So actually, Iacona is moving to there, which is
I
cool.
heard
Yeah, he
that,
retired.
yeah.
Yeah, he retired. So I
Oh,
told him
that's
you.
cool.
He
I gave him a
retired.
couple extra Yacht Club coins, and I said you have to hand those out at the Japan Bar Citizen.
Yes.
So that'll be super
Speaking of
cool when that
Yacht
happens.
Club coins. Look what my wife.
Hey, you
brought
finally
these-
got him.
You got a
No.
Yacht Club coin.
She friggin' brought them inside and set them down on the credenza and didn't tell me, so I had no idea they were there. Like, it was covered in kids' schoolwork already. So I was like digging through their work, like, all right, let's see what you guys need to do
Right.
because you have
So-
to do
so-
work now. Because I'm a homeschool parent now.
Yeah, we should show that a little bit better there on stream. A lot of people haven't actually seen the Yacht Club coin.
Oh, yeah. Does that work out?
It's all right. Pretty crappy looking.
It looks nice.
So-
It's
Yeah, no,
So
it's
here's
it's
ours.
beautiful. It's a beautiful coin.
it's too big to be a proper.
Yeah, so
challenge
Pixel.
coin.
No, it's not.
It's a beautiful coin.
It's exactly a quarter-inch bigger than
It's sharp.
everybody
But I didn't-
else's.
I didn't get my Dr. Contrast.
There we go.
artwork.
There we go. Stem's doing it. Shiny, nice camera, nice lighting, shiny.
Oh,
Good
whatever.
job.
We'll do a silly little. Ching.
I didn't take mine out of the plastic because I don't know if it's clean or not.
It is
So I
clean.
just-
I cleaned everything before I sent it. So
I have a box, a thing of disinfectant wipes that I use.
Nice. Make
I
sure you
use
look
it
for
for.
well,
I
actually,
use
you
it
should
for
show the.
my. Well, I don't want to tell you what I use it for, but I had them before the pandemic started. So,
Yeah, dude, the coins came out really good, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
Pixel helped us design those. I wanted. Speaking of Icona, he actually has the Hawaii Bar Citizen one, which is actually pretty neat, and it's got big Benny's on the back. This is the reason why this is one of my favorite coins. No, I'm not gonna lick it. And then, of course, the much smaller,
Hey Astro,
but
how's it going,
still
man?
pretty cool Jump Club coin, which I just got from our favorite person that cannot be named.
Ooh.
Our favorite
That's really
person
good
that
too.
cannot be named,
who Rumple?
Yeah.
who is named Rumple. Damn it! You ruined it for me.
He can be named. He's got a photograph.
He just
Okay.
doesn't want to be pictured. He's fine being named.
But
He
I
just
do
doesn't
have,
want to be
I have,
pictured.
I have not one, but multiple pictures of him. So
So do I. I have a couple pictures
anyway,
of him.
all right, moving right along.
I
Exposed.
used it for target practice.
He's a good guy. He's a bastard, but he's our kind of bastard.
Oh, Doc just hates the Jump Club now.
I don't think the jump
Got
club.
a bug up his ass about it.
All
I
right,
don't
all
hate
right.
the jump club.
Now, children.
Still have a jump club T-shirt.
Drunk
Such a great
them
shirt.
all in
Rumple
scotch,
did a great
guaranteed
job
to kill
with
anything.
Prowlers.
Damn right, EOD.
Star Citizen Prowler is done.
So the Prowler was just introduced to the Evocati yesterday or the day
Yeah.
before, so it's looking awesome. New Babbage is looking awesome. Needs a little bit of work and polishing, but it's out. So hopefully 3.9 is very soon now, not just soon.
Yeah.
Hey Doc,
I'm
c-
thinking this week.
before
I'm hoping this
okay,
week.
got a question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely or willing are you to recommend the Prowler to your fellow citizen?
Well, does 1 mean unlikely and 10 mean like go buy it now, shithead?
Yes.
You've never heard of the of the
Then-
Net Promoter Score? Yeah,
Then-
10,
then
10 is
10.
good.
10.
10.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I would agree.
I-
Yeah,
it's-
Horton
is-
says
If-
10,000.
It is one of my favorite ships so far.
Good.
Like-
Yes. Yeah. So I was.
That's saying a lot.
That was so
Oh,
it was
yeah.
my gibboning wasn't the Carrack, it was the Prowler and the Polaris.
Yeah.
So
Me too. And,
yes, right
yeah,
meow.
I have high hopes for the Polaris, but it's the next ship that I'm waiting for
It's
as well. I
going
don't really
to
care too much
be
about the Star Runner.
Yeah, me
but-
neither.
I think they're going to do great with the Polaris, especially if Sarah McCullough is in charge of helping to design the interior. Because I mean, she just has a great understanding of what it's like to actually live and work inside of a spaceship.
Right.
We were talking about that earlier today in the Yacht Club Discord, that over the years they've gotten better at making spaceships, but one of the things that it's
living in them. They've gotten
living
really
and
good at
working,
living in them over the last year.
about what it's actually like to experience the spending time inside of a spaceship.
Right.
And she gets it. Like
Mhm.
she
You know,
really
a
gets
ship-
it.
A ship that they released early on that shows like this living in a ship concept was the Retaliator, and it needs those
As a
crew
submarine.
modules.
Yeah, those
So there's
those
somewhere to
modules would be
eat.
cool.
But I mean, besides that, like they gave it a couple beds, a head, engineering stations, like and turrets. So I thought it was always a long deployment ship, is what it looks
Mhm.
like to me.
Right.
If
right.
you were stuck in a ship and you had to social distance within the ship, what ship
No,
would it be?
No, the ship would be
That's-
cleaned.
That's not how ships
the-
work.
That's not
Well,
how
the
ships
890,
work.
of course.
I'm just saying.
Of course, the 890.
The 890, yeah.
You're on a virtual cruise ship,
Mm,
and there's an
You
outbreak.
just hang out in the master's suite.
What
Well,
You
if
got,
it's a
ship?
virtual cruise ship, then I'm
What ship?
fine. I don't need to social distance at all.
yeah, it's my ship.
Virtual.
Get the fuck out.
I've
I would
got-
love to spend, from what I've seen of the Polaris from the brochure, I would definitely love to spend my time on a Polaris. I think it's just a gorgeous ship. It's a good time. It's got a lot of amenities and a lot of well thought out things. Like the A90 is
I will-
okay, but I feel like it's. I don't know. I'd spend my entire life in the bar, so.
I'll take donations, EOD operator. I need to get a new mic too, but right now it's not supposed to be done.
is a limp mic.
Yeah, so I have to sit here and hold it so it doesn't rub on my shirt. So I've got my hand next to my face, which is probably driving somebody crazy.
No.
That's right. Who was that? That was Christina.
It's driving somebody crazy. Not me. Not me, because I rub my face like every 6 seconds, if you haven't noticed.
I know.
That's why I'm staying home.
Just don't go out. Just don't go out. All right, moving right along. So we had Calling All Devs concept art with Paul Jones.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. we go.
Woo.
Oh, I already have
So
it ready. I just got to
I-
hit the button.
This is one of the. So since I'm sequestered at home, I was actually able to watch the show, and I really enjoyed it. It
It
was
wasn't calling all devs. It was a Star
not
Citizen.
Calling All Devs. Yeah, concept. Not a Calling All
Inside
Devs.
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen Live. Star
Star
Citizen
Citizen
Live.
Live. I got that right the first time.
I left that from last week, and I just changed the last part of it.
You
Uh,
lazy bastard.
Ah,
You lazy
I was
git.
lazy. That's what my wife says. It's like as much as I do, it's like you're so lazy. You should have done this. You should have done that. It's like
My wife does that too, and I'm like, I'm raising your children most of the day. What the fuck do you want me to do?
I have 19 cats. I'm always just marked as lazy.
Right.
God,
But
you're so lazy.
it was very cool watching him and his process. So like that city, and he built that concept city there in like 20 minutes. As a background, the clouds and all that sort of thing, which was just cool to watch him do. I think he did that
It
in
was.
Maya.
Mhm.
And then he took the other stuff and added some effects and some lighting and things. So no, it was a fun watch. I mean, nothing super exciting, nothing revelatory. It was good hearing him talk. So Paul Jones, I got to meet him at CitizenCon in Austin. He's in charge of concept ships, concept art, and the team that develops that for the past 4 or 5 years or so. And so it was just interesting hearing him talking about their whole process. It was a background talking that was more interesting than what he was actually doing. So I think it was worthwhile for people who want to learn more about how they concept ships.
Yes.
In the background.
I agree.
Although
It was interesting. I enjoyed it, but I kind of like this minutia detail kind of shit, anyways. Like,
yeah, well, we are the most obsessive people in the community here, so
yeah.
that's why we're doing this show.
That was a great poll, by the way.
Hands free.
How's just them? You just do your forks, toes, fingers, chopsticks, hands free, one hands down, literally.
Hands free.
What the fuck
You're not
is
eating
that?
on stream, are you, Stem? After
I
Hands
am.
free is when you ingest
am.
it by thinking about it.
you gave me so much
I mean-
shit for it. Oh my god.
I know. Well, the way you ate was like this.
Like what?
But you're right. We shouldn't be eating on stream.
Kiridev says it bothers me that they seem to
I
need to
know
show
I don't
every.
eat with
Best
my mouth
Brussels
open.
sprouts ever, though. Stimwife is amazing.
Kiridev said that it still bothers me that they need to show every ship in combat, and the Ares is actually just a combat ship.
Why?
Thinking
Yeah, I
back
know the Ares.
on-
That's
Let's
it's a
think about.
flying gun.
Well, let's think back about a lot of other ships that we've seen, like the Mercury. So a lot of the action shots had some flying and shooting, even though it's very underarmed. But it did show a lot of shots with it, like on the airfield and like people wandering around to load cargo and stuff. I think from watching the show that Paul Jones was doing, he kind of explained that they're trying to create an emotional excitement about the ship, and there's not as much excitement if you're not showing something kind of action oriented. If you think back to the old Freelancer commercial, it's a
I
space
would agree with that.
but-
Yeah.
a big part of that commercial was like, oh, getting attacked by pirates and blowing up the pirates and then landing and then having your coffee and watch your ship get unloaded. So, it's like,
And the Kraken
Yeah.
commercial.
well, the Kraken primarily,
But that was hilarious.
It's not necessarily a combat ship, though. I mean, a lot of people have it as a flying base,
Mm-hmm.
so not necessarily a combat ship. But
Just
yeah,
happens to have
I-
size 7 guns on the front of it.
I agree. I agree in a way because like 80% of the community from various polls have said that the primary interest of backers are non-combat roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Exploration, cargo hauling,
ships
mining.
blowing up other ships sells ships. Like
And it gives you a little bit of excitement.
people like the bang bang and the boom
It's-
boom.
I
And pew pew.
Yes, we do.
I don't actually. I have almost no interest in that. But it
Oh,
look,
your poor wife.
But you're not one of
but it
them.
looks cool. But it looks
Oh,
cool.
God.
Like
Here goes
I'm a Care Bear. I'm a Care Bear. It's like that. But it does look cool. It's like, and some of those it's fun. I didn't get my Mercury for combat, but I love the shots of it. Like like looking kind of fighterish. Who didn't like Star Wars?
It's not a fighter.
The Mercury?
No, it's a
The Mercury.
runner. It's a runner.
Yeah, it's
Make it very
it's-
clear. It is a
It's
runner.
it's a fast cargo data.
Even
running
Care
ship.
Bears have to stare. Or not. Well done. Care Bears stare.
Very good.
Oh god. Anyway.
They stare
right along.
together.
As her cousin says, everyone loves comparing their gun sizes. Yes, we do.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
Caradiff, the friggin' freelancers are amazing. With
The
assist
freelancers are-
on, with reticle assist on, they are extremely good in combat. They'll blow up 2 cutlasses without a problem.
Yeah,
Well, that's not
freelancers are
saying much.
good-
That's,
good
Well,
that's
he's
like
just saying
that's
the
like saying
commercial was
knocking
full
over a
of
trash can.
Oh,
Well,
that commercial was amazing. It pulling
Yeah.
all these like this super high G maneuver and taking out 2 ships like they're nothing.
but
Yeah,
but
which-
but,
You know.
but if we think back to how it was flying, the engines rotated like the Cutlass did. The engines rotated. I think, and the turrets went out 90 degrees and shot the ships directly to the sides, which they can't actually do that. At least currently.
Yeah.
At least currently. So,
Yes.
they take a few liberties with their concept marketing,
Well,
and I'm okay with that.
Dude, that's
they made the
marketing,
freelancer
though.
The
That is
freelancer was
marketing in a
I'm
nutshell.
okay with that.
yeah.
Yes, I agree here with this.
All right, what are we supposed to be doing? What do we need to move to?
Well, we're gonna watch the freelancer commercial while we figure out what the hell the next thing we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
we
let's
gotta,
do it.
we gotta show the freelancer commercial with sound.
Really?
Risky
I'll make the sound
ride.
effect. It's fine.
2 minutes. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. So everyone grab a drink. Enjoy the freelancer commercial.
You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction.
looks like it's the
So
mist, too,
whatever
with all
you
that
put
harmony.
in here comes out the same way.
The regular freelancers. The Mist had
Regular
You
freelancer.
got two Arc Duo 400 engines.
Duo.
Their award-winning colloid ion technology
Gotta-
gives you
gotta raffle off
maximum
the
fuel
stats.
efficiency while keeping your sig low.
Is this a Dodge commercial?
It is a Dodge.
You're right. It actually is
This
a
is one of my
Dodge.
favorite.
No, but all Dodges look the same, so. Well, I guess all Mist ships do.
You come across a couple
Yeah,
of
I was about
pirates.
to say, what are you talking about? Mist is
Deceiver is onto something there.
And trusted names like Bering and Cronin. You aren't too
It's a
worried.
great name, Bearing.
fair.
It's about how Cutlass
I
would go
love
down.
those
too.
those old cannons. Yeah, there's the thrusters going.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Brake tags look good. Cleared for
What
landing.
a silly evasive maneuver that was.
There again.
He dumped a flare. I like how it
You're
has
the one
the
they come
folded.
to.
What the
when
fuck did
you're
their
out
wings
right.
just do?
Because you trust one ship.
That's called VTOL mode. That's the original
This
VTOL mode.
freelancer.
You know,
But look at the size of the
Yeah, stand
cannons
there
on the side of it,
and
though.
drink your tea.
They're so oversized,
Yeah.
and I
when,
love
when
that.
the freelancer first was flyable, it had size 4 guns instead of size 3 guns. And
Yeah.
it was
It was-
fucking
it was a-
monster.
OP. It
Yep.
was seriously OP.
Op.
Yeah.
It was so much fun
I
to fly. You
seriously
could
missed
just kill
that-
everybody in
that
2
that
passes.
that front ladder.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the stair. That was so
stair.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
that
front
was
stair.
nice.
Yeah. It makes sense. The change makes
Op.
sense. I'm okay with it.
Good
Yeah,
times.
so moving on with the show. we
Yeah, the
actually-
operator.
actually
Ah,
have a
but
show
okay, just don't mention 2.6 again. Love it.
Oh God, 2.6.
Yeah, we don't. That was the
2.6,
best
right,
patch
baby.
ever.
It's the longest patch ever.
No.
I had a lot of fun in 2.6.
Yeah?
I killed so many
actually-
people.
I actually took a break for many months in 2.6. I don't even remember what it was I went to go do, but like yeah, something.
All right. Let's move this- let's move
Saturday
right
night.
along.
Saturday
Look,
night yacht club shenanigans.
Everyone says move it along, and then they don't let me say what the
I
next
know.
thing is. They just
Sorry.
keep freaking
Stem,
talking.
what's next?
Keep the train.
It's Jordan's fault. I mean,
What's next? I
Oh,
don't know. Damn. Saturday night yacht club shenanigans.
oh yes.
That happened on Saturday, the 4th of April.
This
We
happened.
don't even talk
It
about
actually
that.
it actually happened. I remember because
Yes.
I was
Shadow
actually
died a
stuck.
whole bunch.
I was
And
actually
it was
stuck.
shenanigans.
I was stuck in this RC the entire time. I literally could not get out.
could get well once you finally actually got there.
Oh, wow.
Whee!
Yeah, no,
That was
actually,
nice.
We
Yeah.
eventually did die pretty horribly, but it was definitely
Yeah.
worth it.
So,
So this was-
the initial plan was like everybody wanted to go see the Javelin and drive around with cyclones around the Javelin on Daymar. So we had 20-30 people out there, had a whole bunch of different ships and tons of cyclones. We're all driving around doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And then people started jumping off of this hill onto the 890 and landing on the back of it and stuck to the back window of the 890 like bugs on a windshield. And then they found they could drive around and up onto the top and all over it. And then so all of us just started jumping onto the 890, and then Lieutenant Porter parked his Carrack in front, and so I started jumping into it, and we started putting more stuff there.
Yes,
and
which
so-
we actually have a really good bottom shot of, which was I thought I didn't even see this and I didn't even think about this shot. But
Yeah,
this
that was
amazing.
Mystic shot of it.
Thanks.
Looking
you.
up
Big tip there, Adon.
to the south.
Hey,
Awesome.
Dan,
Ducks.
thank you
Nice
so
done.
much.
So I was jumping through the
This.
uh,
Wait. Oh yeah.
the-
Hold on.
I was jumping through the hammerhead.
Here we go. This is what we want to see. And who took this video, because this was great screen cap.
Oh,
Ready? Watch.
I don't remember
So,
exactly.
He goes and he actually follows us left to right.
Yeah, this was
great. Doink.
the hammerhead.
Oh yes, it was very
was
well
fun.
done. So do we know who actually shot that?
Yeah, it's in the Discord. I
Okay.
grabbed a bunch of stuff out of the Discord.
So one more time for the cheap seats.
and-
One more time for the cheap seats. I'm stuck in the seat right now and you're going, oh God, George driving. I'm pouring another drink. No, that was a really fun night. We had a ton of people show up. I streamed this because Jordan was stuck in a cave, and it was a good time. So yes, great time.
It was a great time.
Definitely.
That was Elsie. Elsie got that one.
Oh, Elsie. Oh yeah, that is some quality shots right there. I mean, nailed that.
After that, somebody parked at a Caterpillar on the other side of the Hammerhead, which you can see from that.
We don't have video
upshot
of that.
Yeah, because I wasn't streaming, since I can't really stream from up here, and so I wasn't getting all the good video stuff like I normally do when I'm at home. But luckily, a lot of people were watching from different angles and got some good shots. It was a great time, like great shenanigans. So we do that generally Monday, Thursday, and Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We have 20-30 people get together. Horton joined us one time. And just we go all over the place and do different things and crazy fun shenanigans. Super active.
So we've mentioned the thing about going partner, which we could totally do right now. So we would add another night to the normal stream schedule. So we're looking for suggestions. Saturdays, so Saturdays and probably one other day, but yeah.
Shadow, how much do we actually have? Is it 275 or are we like short because of Twitch fees?
I'll find out. Go on to the next topic.
All right,
I will
next topic.
take the number.
How come Stim is the only one of us that's bald?
Well, he has a good reason.
Like he's the only one that had cancer, or
right?
He's not the only one that had cancer.
It's actually he's actually it's actually 252.18 is the and I will update the balance.
So
I think
we need like
update that then.
Because
30 more bucks to get there.
Yeah. So let's update that right now. So what's
we just crazy stuff, Horton.
Yes, This Week in Star Citizen. Even though we literally just covered all of that.
No, it's all.
That was last week.
No, this is all new stuff.
There was new stuff in this week.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's all. There's a lot. There's actually a lot of stuff that happened over the past week.
Bad is beautiful. That's right, EOD.
All right. Well, there's questions for the lore team. Why don't we talk about that?
Ooh.
Questions.
Okay, so they're soliciting
42,
questions
sorry.
for Friday.
Hey, Solar Mute. Thank you for the tip.
Oh, thanks, Solamute.
Always good.
That took us up to where we need to be.
Yep.
No, it didn't. It's close.
No, it's closed.
Almost. Fairly close. Yeah, so Friday's Star Citizen Live is going to be with the lore team, so there's lots of questions. Dalamars actually has the #1 voted question.
Which is it?
So,
it's with the release of Galactopedia on the web. Nice job, by the way. Is there any thought to as how long it will be before we have an app in the game where we can look up things in that database without leaving the game client, or is that even possible? That is a great question, Dalamars.
So
proper.
They did say that is actually going to be in game. Tied in the Moby-Glass and tied to the star map.
Sure, absolutely.
So,
but my shoulder would get super
this
sore if I just sat there the whole time like this. Like they need to have like a cubicle you sit down at or something.
No, you just do a lot of this all the time. You just keep doing it so your muscles are nice and strong. You can hold it for a while.
No, you need one on each arm, so one arm doesn't get bigger than the other.
You gotta sit down and lean back.
Well,
like
no, you use your right arm for extracurricular activities.
Use your right arm.
If I sit on my hand before I look at my Moby-Glass,
oh God, here we go. Is that called
the stranger? It doesn't recognize you. Doesn't recognize you. It doesn't work.
It's called the stranger.
My hands hurt for being on Discord on my phone all day, like holding my phone like this. It's like,
yeah, but it's a good question. It's just been answered before.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
It'd be nice for them to have that.
It'll be nice.
I would rather have something else.
A new answer.
A new feature.
Well, are they planning on doing that fairly soon after the new UI and the new Moby-Glass comes out?
Yeah. And then the Galactopedia, now that they have the new Galactopedia, they could probably start moving on something a little bit more.
Yeah, the Galactopedia is absolutely awesome. I mean, if you haven't checked out the Galactopedia, you should. It's like all the lore information.
Do we have a link for that
in the universe?
Because that's what we should do. Is every week we should do a little segment for the Galactopedia.
Oh, you know what we should do?
How many more segments are we going to add?
You know what we should do is take all the lore makers and pick
Yeah,
the
but
best ones.
we don't seem to stick to it the last couple of shows.
Do what?
Well, it's not our fault.
Hey, to see Rick.
Jordan wasn't even here last week.
I wasn't even here last
So,
weak.
it's
How was it
totally
my
his
fault
fault.
last week? I was just in chat.
It was totally
Thanks to
your fault.
Zebrak.
No, I think we should do another show. Where it might be one of us, or it might be all four of us. Might be a mix of that. Where we do just talk about the lore and some of the back end and some of the stuff that people from
that's a good idea.
that don't like who just joined in the last year or two that have no idea about. Because there's
I'd
so
actually
much
like
of that.
I
No,
actually like that, and I would
we could
put the
talk
time
about-
in to
we
make
could
sure
talk about
that
it for
we
days.
studied it up, and yeah, that'd be good.
Well, like
I heard
Warden,
this is like,
yes.
see what
I
happens
totally
when
agree.
you miss a session. It takes weeks to get back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, making
Right.
up for not being here last week.
Mm-hmm.
Next topic. Moving on.
Moving
Move
on.
right along. Yes.
Jordan, go for it.
So this was another interaction by Ben Perry, which I thought was really interesting because I got to chime in on that. It was about secondary viewports, where just as far as the graphics programming to be able to stuff like see the render to texture videos in game and things like that. The original question was a long time ago. There was an episode of Around the Verse highlighting lack of realism that when the episode went live seemed like it was fairly soon to be implemented. The tech referred to as secondary viewports. Talk about real-time reflections on windows, mirrors, etc. It's also a key part of the holographic communication system for one of the mission givers. So like all that render to texture stuff that we see. And I guess he's saying it's not super real, and so he's got some Ben Perry again, who's one of their lead. What was his title? Lead graphics engineer. It has a bunch of really in-depth questions there, and one of those kind of prompted me to chime in about the white panels behind the beds in the 890 that they talked about being showing different views of like forests and waterfalls and stuff like that. And most of us want to see space out of those. And so I asked whether or not that could be used for that. And part of that he'd answered that real-time camera views to in-game and also the mirrors, it's too much of a graphical burden because of all the different lighting conditions and particle effects and stuff like that it makes it really difficult for them to do that. But they could kind of cheat some of these things. So I'm assuming at least in the 890 space views, they might just have like a pre-rendered view of space. It might not be a real window into what's actually going on. So I guess that the concern is, okay, well, you're looking out in space and normally it's not that graphically intensive, but what happens if all of a sudden there's a space battle outside and they're having to render that inside?
Yeah.
So another great post.
Starlight says they need ray tracing for mirrors. They're already using ray tracing. They've been using ray tracing before the RTX
Mhm.
cards. Steven.
Yeah.
Like they were
Well,
doing ray
it's-
tracing back in
Like done
2000.
right, where it doesn't require a special card to actually do it too,
Right.
which is amazing.
Not
Exactly.
not actual ray tracing, but they
It's
are.
actual ray tracing.
No, ray
Um,
tracing is
They're
a
not the
thing
same
that's been
texture.
around for like 10 years. Everyone, when
Yep.
when Nvidia came out with ray tracing, they were like, "Oh my god, ray tracing!" We've had this forever. They just
Well,
have
yeah,
a piece of the card that has it baked
previous
in
version.
to be able to actually use it. That's
But-
the
Right.
only difference. But yes,
Isn't the new iteration more about how the lighting bounces off of the various
no, there's
surfaces?
just a
and
piece
and
of hardware
re-
that actually
reflects.
is dedicated to rendering it. That is the only
Right.
difference.
So
Yeah.
it just makes it more realistic as far as how the light bounces.
And
but
clearly,
they have been
Pixel's not here
talking-
because he'd be going ape shit over this right now.
Well, they've
Let's-
recently
let's
talked
dive
about
into
how that's
Pillar
part of.
Talk.
Can
one
you
of the
turn
new-
me up some, Shadow? Apparently, I'm quiet.
Should we dive into Pillar Talk and actually?
They are
Mhm.
talking. They are talking about the new implementation of ray
You're
tracing.
at 100.
It is
so
coming.
I'll turn you up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, there we
It's
go.
part of the Vulkan graphics integration.
Yep.
Also, buyback tokens were distributed this week. So
Yep. Yesterday
Go-
or 2 days ago. On
go
the
buy
6th.
go buy
Nice.
something back out of your buybacks.
Buy it again.
credit. Or don't use your buyback to spend cash. Give them more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who watched the Pillar Talk? It was totally
did.
surprised
Only
that the
4
Pillar Talk came out.
times.
I watched it twice.
I watched it twice
Stim?
again tonight just to be caught up.
I watched it all.
You watched it once. That's good.
I watched it once, mostly paying attention.
Mostly semi kind of on Monday, and you forgot half of it.
So it's funny.
Well,
If you notice-
I watched a quarter of it on
At the very
Friday.
beginning, at the
It came
very
out on Monday.
beginning,
Monday?
they mentioned
Monday.
six
Well, sort of.
topics. They only covered
And
4
then
of
the
them.
rest of it today.
Good.
So yeah,
Because one of them was volatile
days are all
cargo,
blending-
and they never even talked about that.
blending together.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't really
There
touch on
was-
it, but they've talked.
There was
they've
another
talked
one.
about it.
No, it was still awesome. Yeah. I mean, it was 20-some minutes long, so it's like, that's unexpected.
28 minutes.
And that's unexpected and awesome.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I was super thrilled with the content, and I think most everybody was saying that this is one of the best Pillar Talks that we've had since the first Pillar Talk that they had.
Yeah, this is a good one.
A lot of the Pillar Talks have sucked.
I really liked Chris's line at the end where he's like, Star Citizen is never getting canceled.
Yeah, officially.
And how Eric Kieran Davis made a big point of that. It's never getting canceled.
That's the
It's
way
like,
it should be.
we kind of knew that.
Suck it, Red.
Yeah.
We kind
Yeah.
of knew that.
Yeah, but that's the jeer that they added. That's what was so awesome.
It's only shutting down
Yeah.
when we lose funding.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much the assumption. It's like
It's
as
just
long
pretty
as the
much
money's
never
coming
gonna
in,
happen.
they're gonna do this. Well, and I loved how he says like it's like being Willy Wonka in
Yeah, that was awesome.
anything that I can imagine we can do, and it's like
Mhm.
anything any of them imagine, and I thought one of the things that's really big for me is watching the words that people use it have so much meaning behind them, and people don't really think about it, and people don't pay it that much attention. But there were a couple things that he said that he hasn't said before in the same way, and
Mhm.
it's always been a space sim, and he reclarified that this is a universe sim. It's like we're really building a universe, and that's what I've been calling it for a few years now. Well, since we got the planets and got to experience that they're literally building an entire universe, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So nobody hears you donated, but did we miss it? What happened?
Just track.
Someone donated?
Just send the name to me, and I can actually track it. Very easy to do.
Make sure that it worked, etc.
Yep. Just send me what email address you send it under. You could message me directly in Discord.
No
we
idea what
can
y'all are talking about.
make sure that works. No, it's rare. We haven't had it in a very, very, very long time. But sometimes when somebody donates, it doesn't trigger the alert. So,
Okay.
but
so-
it usually is
missed
because
some
it doesn't go through. So,
so-
or
so
something happened.
thank you to whoever tried to donate. They're
Yeah.
double check.
Well, just let me
If it
know, and then
didn't-
I can actually
nobody hears you. That's the
I
standard.
can manually trigger it.
Yeah, that was
so.
apt, but confusing when you try and say it.
Nobody
I
hears
think
you.
with his mole.
Maybe that's why. Maybe your name. Maybe your name triggered it.
T Nicer said it's in the list on the left. It was $5.
Oh, nobody
Oh.
hears you. $5.
Oh,
So there
thanks,
it
man.
is.
There it is. What do you know?
Thank you.
Um,
Let's do the mole giveaway. Or
Oh,
at least get people
Moly.
entered into it.
Yeah, nobody
Moly.
hears you.
Moly,
Did we
moly,
decide on a
moly,
mole?
moly.
That's awesome. I love that
We're
shit.
giving away a mole
Yeah, it's a
carbon.
carbon.
Oh,
All
set that
right.
up.
Ooh.
Fire
Because
it
I've
up.
recently come into possession of a tallow, which I like more.
Yeah, thanks. Nobody
Really?
hears you.
Yeah, I like
We
white
heard you.
ships. It's a thing.
It's
totally
a
thing.
thing.
Is your computer white too? You
Nice.
there we go.
My
Are you on an
PC
Apple?
Case is no. Fuck you.
No.
Mole Carbon Edition.
Oh, fuck you very much.
Right? Mole Carbon Edition. Sound right?
Yep. That
Okay.
is
Ooh,
correct.
linear. I like your 07. That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a good one.
calligraphy great.
That's actually from Old Boy.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
We should have him on at some point.
Yeah, we totally
Shut
should.
your mouth, you know.
He's a good guy.
Contact him.
Okay, here we go. So you got to be a follower to win. Hold
All
on.
premature.
Yeah, right. Here we go. Opening the giveaway. Bang! Ship me! Explanation point! Ship me. To get in the giveaway, get ready for the spam. This is spam. Bring
The
me
giveaway is one thing you don't have
spam.
to socially distance from. Get on in.
Yes.
Get on in.
And you don't have to clean it
But
when
there's
you
three
receive it.
people. But there's 3 people on it. So do you have to socially distance from them when you're
You do have to clean it. I have used it.
there?
Thoroughly disinfect that with
It has a
It's
few
weird.
virus.
Just
It's weird
dunk the
because,
entire
like,
thing in alcohol.
I have the carbon, and I keep using just the orange one. So I don't know why, but I don't like the
I
carbon.
think the orange one is so cool.
I have the orange one and the white one, and I only have the white one to give
It
away.
looks so industrial, like
And
Caterpillar.
like that's the thing. Nobody
Heavy
bought the
equipment.
white one. Everybody bought the carbon or the orange
Is
one.
it is
So
it white
yeah.
or is it white?
well, it's tallow, whatever that means.
I know, right?
It means
idea.
full,
Tallow.
which
It's
means
not
bowl.
confusing at all.
Isn't tallow like a candle type?
Well,
tallow is
tallows-
actually a solution of fat used to make candles.
Well, talos.
Yes.
Talos is it's a angelic piece or part or thing that denotes angelicacy, whatever that is. I remember
Okay.
reading that somewhere.
I think
Yeah.
that's an entirely different word.
White.
I think there's
No,
different words.
talos. It's talos. It is exactly how it's spelled. That's why when I was like, it's
Oh,
an
is it?
angelic mole. Okay.
TALOS.
Yeah, it's exactly how it's spelled. So anyway,
Oh, is that how it's spelled? Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, the
Tallow.
carbon
different.
was only available to concierge, which is why more people bought it than the tallow one.
But I like the carbon one. Although I really wish they didn't make the inside orange.
I like.
It's
the
like you walk in and it's like, oh man, it's so cool, and then you see this orange interior. You're like,
It's industrial. It's supposed to be
pretty
industrial.
sure I didn't pay for this.
I love that.
Well, the fact that it can blend into, you could turn all the lights off and it will actually blend into an atmosphere or an asteroid. That's why I bought it.
Yeah. I
So
think White House
apparently-
did that too. So
According to Greek mythology, Talos was a giant automaton made of bronze to protect Europa in Crete from the pirates and invaders. He circled
Yeah.
the
Is
island's
it
shores
spelled
3
the
times
same
daily.
though? Is it spelled the same?
Talos?
Interesting.
Yeah.
no,
And it's
tallow
also
is
spelled-
TALLOW.
Right. It's not spelled the
But-
same.
Talos
Yes.
is
It's with an S.
So is
Yeah.
it?
Yes, it's
Whatever.
it's with an S, not a W. No,
Do
you're right
not
though.
engage. Do not feed the monkeys or the trolls.
Well, or the fact finders
Genitalic
or
says
the
it-
people that
or
are
the
right.
Googles. Don't
It's
piss off the
tell
Googles.
What would Google do?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say. What
She's
would
the
Google
best
do?
wife ever. She's never wrong. All right, you got 1 minute to get in. We got 73 entries. Bank shipping, exclamation point
We gotta
shipping.
give a shout out to Tech Sergeant Tony Capra. May
Wait,
he
what?
rest in peace.
What?
EOD operator asked if we can just give a shout out for Technical Sergeant Tony Capra, who died today in 2008 in Balad, Iraq. He was his replacement. There's just an anniversary that EOD wants to celebrate, or not celebrate, but to commemorate and
Remember.
Everybody that serves.
drinks up,
Salute.
drinks up.
Yeah.
Salute. Definitely salute. Picked up,
Mhm.
everyone. Clink.
And Genotonic said that talus, Tallus, coarse rock fragments mixed with soil at the foot of a cliff or natural slope. So, do we actually know how the spelling is of the actual mole? It's
I'll look,
talus,
hold on.
talus.
It's Talus. TALUS.
US. That's
L?
that's what makes it different.
Yeah, TALUS.
Okay.
I
Right.
thought it was spelled with an OW because I'm stupid.
It's okay. We'll let you go this time.
The master of language was mistaken.
Okay. He had a couple Roman Cokes before then. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm a little more drunk than normal.
Bing, 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 bing. All right, here we go.
We love you,
Closing down.
Doc.
Closing down the giveaway. Bang
Good
shipping
time.
really quick. You got 10 seconds. Exclamation point shipping. If you're not in it, we're giving away a carbon nutty talos. Moly. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Closing entries. Ready. We're picking a winner. The winner is Black Manx. Let's see it. We know you're here. Black Manx, you have never won anything.
Congratulations, man.
And we know
Never
you're
won
here.
anything, and he wins
So-
a ship he already has. That's
So,
hilarious.
It's okay. He could
Well, he
decide
can
to
say-
give it away.
he can use that towards something else. He could always melt it and use it towards
He
something
could
else.
always, yeah, that's right. He can melt it, or he can give it away, or he can re-gift it.
whatever.
There's always that.
He
Black
could,
Manx,
yeah,
are
he
you here?
won't
You got to be here. You got to be
so,
here.
now, Doc, you can't say that any of your friends have not
Black
won.
Manx, big.
anything.
Yeah, that's
There you
true.
go.
Black Manx won something.
All right, Black Manx, get a hold of Doc Murray.
Sorry,
you
other
will get
Nick.
Yep. You'll get your brand new, not so shiny carbon. Probably has a disease mole.
So
Saying.
back to the pillar talk. So there's actual topics. And I have some notes there, and since you guys actually watched it, you guys want to actually
Let's be quick about it.
work through some of those. It's like who wants to take the first one? Stim.
Okay. The friends list. So they obviously talked about why we need to have a combined friends list so that we don't have to make friends on the website, as well as make friends in the game, and not only unify them, but how the structure would work with that. I mean, one of the things that I liked the most about it was they said they would leave it up to us and up to each org on how we wanted to structure our communication channels, which I thought was just amazing, because that's got to be quite the system to build that.
Yes.
Right, especially because they built one system and then they built another one and then another one, and now they're gonna link them all together.
That sounds more like TeamSpeak functionality.
No, say Discord. Don't say TeamSpeak. Don't age yourself. I did that on my stream last night.
I talked to a lot of people in the community that are real into their combat orgs, and they have to be able to have different teams that they talk to. And Discord does not have that functionality. TeamSpeak is still the best platform for voice comms for large groups managing multiple teams, squads, companies, and be able to address things and so that's what it sounds like. They're going to give us the opportunity to be able to create those within the in-game VoIP, and in-game VoIP, when it works, is fantastic. I mean, it's in the proximity, in party, in the ship. It works really well. So that's exciting.
Yep. Diehard's even saying it as well. The Discord doesn't allow you to set up proper chains of command. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, that's true. Discord does have that issue, but TeamSpeak has its whole other issues for itself.
I hate TeamSpeak. I
a lot of issues.
This is a problem. A lot of people hate TeamSpeak.
Yeah,
it's
horrible.
It's not as bad. TS3 is pretty good. They've done a lot of work on it, so it's getting there. And it's really nice that you can have layered text and layered speech, so you can have somebody talk. But
the fact that it has unencrypted freaking voice comms is the bane of its existence.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And they still haven't fixed that in TS3, which was a problem.
I thought they had in TS3. I thought they did that in like a 0.6 patch.
So Ventrilo,
interesting.
I only used it for a little.
Vent is only good for low latency.
Yeah, Vent.
The only thing Vent's
so
good
long
for.
ago.
I used it once for WoW.
Didn't it also have some team structuring as well?
No, it did not. It was just
so
flat.
TeamSpeak is
It was
really
a flat.
No,
point.
Vent was great for low latency. Like when you're playing, like when you need to scream at somebody, right meow, and milliseconds matter, Vent was the thing to use.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But TeamSpeak has latency?
Oh yeah. It depends on so Vent
Spectre mentions Mumble.
Well, okay,
Mumble.
Mumble. Yeah, Mumble was even better. Yeah, Mumble was super low latency.
And encrypted. Mumble is great.
STL Youngblood and Timble are in what's that org? They use Mumble.
That one.
Oh shoot! I wish I could think of their org because PXP. So they're the ones who. I'm blanking. The Futurama theme.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
Planet Express.
The whole Futurama theme. Yeah.
Planet Express.
Yeah,
Planet Express. Nice.
But yeah, they use Mumble.
Yeah,
Mumble's nice. I've had good experiences with Mumble. It's just a little harder to set up.
The only problem with Gilded is it's run by basically Test Squadron, which is why we'll never use it.
Yeah.
Look at Uno. So you don't use Microsoft Teams?
You laugh. Teams is actually really good. I mean, it has its problems, but Teams is very good. I mean, I hate Microsoft and I hate Teams, but it's actually pretty decent.
I've been using Teams.
Not have NDI?
No, it doesn't have NDI. No, nothing has NDI, which is the only reason why we use Skype. Yeah, we hate Skype.
Christ.
But we have to use it. So, anyway, moving around.
All right,
next question.
Wait, we have questions?
Persistence. This was one of the biggest things. Also, anybody want to talk about persistence? It's Stim Wife.
Well, it's iCache.
Stim Wife.
It's iCache that really makes it.
Well, iCache
because they're
is
laying
the
the
next
founder.
But the most important thing was that for 3.9, they're not going to wipe. At least 95%.
Okay,
95%
can we please get past this? What the hell is the difference if you wipe or not? I mean,
Well, okay, so
in
let me
game.
explain this to Shadow. I have friends who refuse to play the game because they wipe it so often. Now that they're not wiping it as much, they're actually playing the game because they got tired of starting with 5,000 UEC, working their way up to a couple hundred grand, and then it wiping every time. So they were like, "Fuck this! I don't want to play anymore." But now it's like, I earn this money.
Okay.
I get to keep this money from patch to
And
patch.
Are
I get to keep
and
the ships that I
are
bought.
wait, one more
equipment that I bought.
most important thing. Most important thing is new players that have one fucking ship. They have an
Right.
Aurora or they have a Mustang, and
Okay.
the only things they have to do is to try to earn money and build it up. And
okay.
when it gets
I totally get that, but let me
Like,
just
you've
bring up
got
the
more
one
than
fucking
$10,000
thing that
in ships.
matters.
It makes
This
no
game
difference.
is not out yet, and the
It-
biggest thing is, are they submitting bugs? Are they helping the
okay,
process?
o-
Okay, then
okay.
then it doesn't matter.
Here's why it matters. Because those
Their data, regardless if they
new players
report bugs
are
or
the
not.
the primary funding source. Not you, not Doc.
I'm pretty
not
sure they
me,
don't have problems with funding right now.
That's because
getting
of the new
players.
players.
It's all new
Yeah.
players.
And
Disagree, but
since 3.8 came out, the amount
You
of
don't
new
talk to new
players per
players.
day are ridiculous.
I do talk. We've had 3 of the new players fucking on the show the last 3 times. I talk to new players. Believe me, I know this.
Okay.
Yes,
So
every one of them has started in the last few fucking weeks or months.
yeah. So the main thing that they want is to be able to have something that they
Hi.
can do.
Hi,
Otherwise, they're
Horton.
just going
How's
to
it
play
going?
for a little bit. Otherwise, you're just going to play for a little bit, and then they're going to stop
But
because
the point
you know,
being is the game is going to continue in development anyway, and it
Yes.
needs people
Okay.
reporting bugs and showing issues, not just people
okay.
playing to have fun.
But
I don't
no,
care if
but
I have
that's-
a billion credits or 0. The
that's-
point is we need to progress the game to get it
If it was
finished.
only people that were just hardcore testing it, it would be dead. It
Yeah.
would be
No, it's
It-
not. It would
would be
never be
dead.
dead. It
It
will
would be dead.
never be dead.
If
There
it
will
was
be
only hardcore
if there's
testers,
20
bugger
people
me, I
testing,
don't
those are going to
report
be the
fucking
best
bugs.
20 people
Hold
ever.
on, Jordan. Shadow, they need people who just play the game. They get data from that. They get data
Agree.
from you just
I
goofing off on the moon.
Completely
So,
agree.
They need that data. They need the concurrency data of having more than 50 or having 50 players on a server. They need that data.
Okay.
They don't need everybody reporting bugs. It would be
Totally
nice
agree.
if everybody reported bugs.
Completely agree. So why don't they
But
just
new
give everyone a
players-
billion credits?
Okay. Here's
Because
here's
new players
here's
are
the
the
other.
lifeblood, and they're testing out the economy. That's why they don't give everybody
And
a
it's
billion credits.
exactly that. And so what they're doing and what they've been talking about here for several months is that they want to get to a point where they don't wipe UEC. So if
Right,
you
and
earn
equipment.
UEC and things that you buy, that is the part of the database that they're not going to wipe. They're going to wipe everything else, and that's one of the things that we've been trying to figure out exactly what are they wiping and what are they not wiping. And I was just looking before the show also just to double check with the character reset that they allow us to do now. It wipes everything except for your earned UEC. So they have sectioned off one data point in the database that they will not wipe, and that is their intent because they want to start to analyze the economy and how people are earning and what they're spending money on,
Right.
and how that accumulates over time to be able to rent ships and buy ships, because that is the fundamental basis of the universe, and everything is people making money, what they're doing and spending it, is otherwise we have nothing. And so that is the most important thing for them going forward, is to be able to start measuring that, and they need more than 3 months to measure that. So that's the wipe that they are desperately trying to get to, and they are now at. So it's also, from a CIG development standpoint, it is a huge milestone for them, not just for our personal enjoyment. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I've got 26 ships. I start off with 270,000 UEC. It doesn't bother me. And yeah, and I like earning more, and I've got 1 million credits, and I've spent hundreds of thousands now. And if they end up buying me, I'd be fine if they don't. But for the vast majority of players, the new players, and
Yeah.
making it more appealing to get more people in, because that's where the money is coming from. New people coming to the project and spending $45 or $65 on a starter ship and a game package, and that's where we are 45% up month over month. January, February, March, the income is through the roof from new players, because Star Citizen is the most playable it has ever been, and so other people are coming, not just the people that have been playing.
That's brings up a good point. that with the amount of telemetry that they require and they collect off of us, they will be able to wipe the people that use exploits and get billions of credits. They'll be easily able to do that. So
And
they
he's
won't need to
specifically-
wipe everybody like they said they might do in the beginning when they said, well, somebody uses a bunch of exploits, we might have to wipe everybody. But
That is a really
said
good
in
point. That is a
Chris said in
fantastic
Pillar
Yeah.
Talk
point.
that they'll
Yeah.
go in and they'll edit the person that used the exploit, which is perfect.
Yeah,
Which
if-
means
if-
we
if
won't
they
see
find
another
them.
wipe.
exploiting,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
If they find
Yeah.
them.
They'll be able to use the data to figure out who's earning outside of.
Yeah,
like,
but what
reasonable
happens when you have
tolerances and
Right.
how far you're outside that
500
outlier.
accounts that are earning across their... This is the same thing that happened to Eve. Same exact thing that happened to Eve. You'd have large groups of people that had large amounts of accounts that would just spread money across all of them, and they just got lost in the mix. You can't just
Well, no,
expect that to be the one silver bullet that saves you.
If you earn like 300 million credits off of one trade, they know you're using an exploit, and
But
they
that's
can,
not
if-
happening.
Even
We
if you
know
even
that's
if you
not
give
happening.
all that money
It is-
away,
it is
It
happening.
is happening.
It
It
is
is happening.
happening.
I've seen
It is-
accounts with 350 million
I-
credits
That's,
on it.
have you seen
I've
the single transaction that actually happens that's worth 300 billion?
No, it's not a single transaction.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking
No.
about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You
But
can spread it across
they can see
1,000
their
accounts.
increase
No,
in a certain amount of time.
There are
Like if
transactions.
5 minutes you earn 350
I
million.
agree.
That's a fucking
I totally
yeah.
agree.
Here's the exploit. Right now, if you have multiple caterpillars, there's a way to actually exploit to use all of their UEC. So use
Okay, let me just end this conversation.
So you can use
When the
1,000
game goes
SCU.
live and they wipe it, is that what everyone's pissed about?
No,
No.
Okay, then,
No,
then we're
everyone's
moving right
excited.
along then.
no, we're talking
Then
about
I don't
just
care.
generally people. Then why do you throw such a huge fucking fuss?
Because everyone throws a fucking huge fit when we have to clean out a database, which I have to do every goddamn day because that's my fucking job. I know what it takes. That's the
Right,
problem.
and
I
so
understand the development process.
What's
This is
G-
fucking pissing me off
Right,
that people get
well,
pissed off about
but-
keeping data clean because that is the fucking end of our existence.
but here-
is
but here's
too
the
much
G-
data.
Yeah.
But
So
here's the
Trillions and
You're gonna
trillions
wipe
of
everything except for
terabytes of
UEC.
data that we never use.
But dude, you're flipping out over nothing.
No, I'm not. I'm not now because I don't care.
No, because you don't get it.
Step back.
No, it's not that I don't get it. I don't care.
Let's step back. Let's stop attacking one another.
Okay.
No, not attacking
I
one.
love you,
I
man.
think it's
And you-
hilarious. I really do. I really don't care.
Not
I'm just
helping
saying.
anybody.
The point being is when you reset data, it's for this. I'm talking from a technical aspect, and I understand it. And none of you seem to understand that when you have to carry
So-
on terse data that sucks,
But-
it actually
You're
causes
right.
performance issues
Shadow,
and a
you're
million
absolutely
other
right.
things.
Jordan, Doc, and I are super stupid. Everyone in chat that's
Okay,
contrary to the way
fuck
you're
you,
thinking is super
Stim.
stupid right
Fuck
now.
you,
Super dumb.
Gears.
Super dumb.
Yeah.
You
but
know what I'm talking about. The point being is that's
say I
exactly
do.
what I'm talking about.
You're getting upset over the wrong thing, dude. Like
Let's-
the
I'm
only
not upset. That's the thing. I'm
You
just
were.
saying I understand why they wipe. And people
Alright,
get
you
pissed over why they wipe.
You were yelling.
And they don't
for nothing.
understand that. And that's what I'm saying.
I have a
That's all I'm
question for you
saying.
guys. What do you think? What do you think about, like, kind of moving on, but staying on the same topic, when it comes to 90% of the population being NPCs moving forward? How much of an effect do we think this will have on those that are abusing the economy, and how important wipes will be going forward? So we talk about wipes. I really like the idea of wipes being targeted towards the individual, but if we have 90% of the economy being driven by NPCs, those that are outliers that manage to slip through the cracks are not going to have as much of an impact, because their impact arguably can only be a fraction of 10%, right? So
What's he talking about?
it's not wasting space.
You lost me there.
No,
Okay. Let's move on.
Well, I think
Where-
your question is more about how are players that make a lot of money going to impact the overall economy, and are they going to imbalance it? Is that what you're getting at, Stem?
I'm trying to phrase a statement as a question.
But that
you were
is an
confused, guys.
economy. That's a definition of an economy. You'll have there's
It's-
like this whole
They do it
virus
on
thing.
Jeopardy
Suddenly-
all the time. Okay.
Things
No, they
spike.
don't.
So
Or Wheel of Fortune? Wheel of Fortune.
No, Jeopardy is when you answer in a question, but they don't
Yeah.
really make a statement as a question.
Yeah.
They make a
Yeah.
question as a question.
So
right,
what's
let's move on.
next in the show? Because I'm totally lost.
Yeah.
Well, we're still on the first I think we're still on the first item.
No,
Oh,
we've
friends
moved
list?
through.
Oh no, it's like
We moved past the friends list.
we're
We're kind
at
of all
3.9
over, but
persistence.
it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at 3.9 persistence. So you will keep your UEC. They're wiping everything
Right.
else. All right, moving along.
And
So there's no
iCache
bad.
is cool.
There's no bad
iCache
data
is
left.
cool.
There's no bad. There's no bad data
You
left.
can keep all your
iCache,
items that you bought
let's-
as well.
But
iCache
okay.
isn't in
I
yet.
didn't want to confuse
know.
things, Doc. Don't confuse things.
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
well, is iCache in or not?
No, iCache
No.
is not in.
It's got to come. It's
iCache
it's
is
like
the next major.
Because they talked about it, and it was like, and I didn't know if it was in. Okay.
So in the network progress working from server-side object container streaming towards server meshing, iCache is the next step of persistence. So right now, what they have is what they're calling long-term persistence of just your UEC and items that you purchase. So essentially, anything that you put in your pocket, in your bag of holding, your money, that's the only thing they're basically gonna say your bank account is never gonna get wiped. Everything else is getting wiped. Your bank account of things that you bought. The next stage is logging all of the data about everything in the server everywhere in every server to a master database of their location and status data, essentially, so that regardless of if there's a 30K, you won't lose your cargo. Any other wipes of the other database issues, all the other things that they're doing, they're going to maintain the persistence of everything. So if going back to Austin when he dropped his remote controls, like I drop this and I walk away and I come back, or if somebody comes over here in several days or a week, it's still going to be there. If you drop your rifle, it's still going to be there.
Right.
So that adds so much more to, and that's going to allow salvage. So one of the problems with salvage is like, okay, well, if you blow up a ship and it doesn't persist because everything despawns immediately, well, you can't have salvage.
Ships are going to have to stop blowing up for that to work.
Well, for salvage, that's another thing that we're working towards. But at least right now that they blow up and that you still have a hole left. But then it despawns.
It sounds like we're going to be at the point where your body stays persistent for a while after you die. So you have time before you choose to respawn, but you could be looted in that time. Or you can be healed with the new medical gameplay they were talking about with the defibrillator.
That too as well. Yep.
Right.
Your body will still be there.
This is something I've been waiting for a while, is for the bodies to stay put after you kill them, because then you can take pictures with them.
I don't want to know very much more about that, Doc.
Put a tag on it.
Exactly.
But this is one of the other really important things for salvage. I mean, so many people are upset that they keep pushing back salvage. But if nothing persists, well, they have a lot of things that they need for salvage, and the first thing that they need is like, okay, well, the stuff that's left can't despawn instantly within minutes. Otherwise, you can't salvage it.
Yeah.
So, and iCache is going to be huge.
But salvage is hard just because there's so many pieces and parts and things that happen when you blow up a ship. What if it's got like 50 cargo containers on it? It's like
then the cargo containers should float.
Yeah, but what if the cargo containers get destroyed?
The cargo's going to persist.
And
the ones that live will.
Persist. If a cargo container gets broken,
the ships aren't going to blow up.
Does the things actually come out of the cargo container? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, all the individual crates and stuff will spew around and
then
around the ground.
That's a massive amount of stuff that you have to record.
Track, and they were talking about that. So that stuff will actually stay persistent for quite some time. But after some period of time, they will have cleanups of things that have persisted for too long. Nobody's interacted with them or whatnot. And that was one of the things that they were talking about with selling data and exploration, is finding things and selling the data while it's still fresh, because over time that data will degrade, because things will either get discovered, mined, salvaged, whatever, or eventually they will despawn. So it's not going to be completely fully filling up everything. Like Hurricane Warning doesn't want anybody to touch his lobster bisque in the 890 fridge. Like, that's mine. Put your name on it.
If
Gotta
it's in
put
the
your name on
fridge,
it.
Gotta
it's
put your
open
name on it.
game.
If your name is on it,
If your name's
It's
not on it in
in
the
the
fridge,
It's
Yeah.
open
It's
game if it's
anybody's.
in the fridge.
Mystery meat gets
you
thrown.
better put a mine on it.
So moving right along again. The next item, small item that they mentioned about the load times for the devs, quality of life for the backend, which this was recorded before everybody had to start working from home, but the fact that all the devs only have to check in or check out like 7 gigabytes and not the whole 45 gigabytes
Yeah.
has made this a much better for them to be able to work with the with the code, and working from
Yeah.
home, that's got to help tremendously.
Oh, hugely. I mean, even at 7 gigabytes, most personal home accounts, 7 gigabytes, 20
That
days
takes
a
a
week,
long
Monday to
time.
Friday, is that, well, not only the time, it's you're going to go over your cap pretty quick.
If you have a cap, not everybody has caps.
Yeah, but that I think that's a US thing that doesn't have a lot of caps. I think everywhere else in the world pretty much have caps.
It depends on
Some
your
place in
ISP.
Europe probably not, but
Yeah. Well, I think like Comcast has a cap of
There's like 1 terabyte.
terabyte or something. But
Yeah, let's move
yeah.
on.
Whatever the case, 7 gigs is still a
Yep.
lot.
So quality of
I
life
will
is
be
a
back.
priority. Basically, they're working on a lot of quality of life stuff for 3.9. It's probably one of the reasons that it's been pushed back a little bit, because they're really trying to make it as stable as possible for an alpha build. Player interaction system and personal inner thought improvements. Doc, what are your thoughts on that?
On inner thoughts improvements?
The new player interaction system, like with the weapons and stuff like that, and we kind of talked about that last week.
The weapons interaction system is nice, being able to equip your gear in real time without having to go into the Moby glass. You just look at it, bring it up into inspect, which is nice. I like inspecting weapons. I do it all the time in Counter-Strike. So you look at it, and then you put your parts on it, which is nice. And it just happens right away. It's smooth. It's not glitchy or anything. And you have your gear on your gun instead of having to go through the nebulous menus of Moby Glass, which is nice. The one thing I don't
They are
like
annoying.
about the new interaction system is the radio menu, because
Here
they
he
have
goes.
not utilized it correctly. It needs to have things like put on, take off helmet. It needs to have things like.
Well, they said that there's a lot of things that they're going to add to this, and
Well, they said it's
kinda
fully
like-
customizable. That's the thing.
well, that's what excited me, that that you can program it on the fly.
The menu isn't customizable. The menu only allows you to do certain things. All the things you can do with the menu, you can customize to a different hotkey. But
Well, maybe
it
they'll put
doesn't-
that in after Evocati.
It's not all encompassing. When you click and bring it up, it has 4 options that you start
Well,
with. Then each one of those is the sub menu.
But
There's no way to go
this
back.
isn't the full. This isn't the full thing. This is tier, not
Right, this is
tier
tier
0. And it's slightly beyond tier 0, because we
It's
got the
tier
first.
0.
Well, we had the little tiny one with the inventory in the last in.
Well, no, this is
Fashion
completely
show.
different.
Yeah, and it's a lot more elaborate. But it's built on
The inventory
basis
is a different
of that.
screen. It's not built on the same tech even. I don't think. I think it's
I think it's building blocks also.
completely different.
It was just really super simple.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the original one is not building blocks, it's Flash. So, the get into your inventory needs to change as well to building blocks.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, because they didn't have anything working that wasn't Flash before. So,
Tier -5.
yeah, tier minus.
But yeah, but
It's
We're still
definitely
learning.
0. It needs
Yeah,
work. It needs work. It'll get better, I assume.
I'm
So,
excited about it.
yeah.
I like everything. There'll be a
And
lot of iteration.
If anybody in CIG is listening, you need to put on a shortcut for take off and remove your helmet, so we can take our helmet off and put it back on quickly.
Well, they talked about that, because with the whole new food system, that was one of the things, and they can't do that yet because they haven't done it for all the helmets, every different helmet has a different way of doing it or something. They talked about that a few weeks ago on the Inside Star Citizen. So it's coming. Not
All right,
not
next
soon.
topic. We
Next
are
topic:
pushing
button
my
mappings,
time
weapon
limit.
modularity, item interactions, being more tactile. Oh, that was the other cool thing about that, about the inspection system and interacting with your weapon there, is that that's leading towards the physical inventory. That's part of actually interacting with your stuff. It's like, okay, you put your silencer on, you put your scope on, and those things. It's like making it more physical. It's like that's actually going to be in your backpack.
Well, being
If you
able to
don't actually
see
have
where it
it with
goes
you.
and what part goes there
Yeah.
is
And-
massively an improvement.
and what it looks like. I'm super excited about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, and it does add that more tactile feel to it, and it will be good for physicalized inventory. I can't wait for physicalized inventory, and I can't wait for the time when you can't wear medium armor and sit in the pilot seat anymore.
Yes.
And I'll
Thank you
or
very
have a
much.
long
all of those
arm,
things.
like you have a long arm on your back. You can't sit
Yeah.
in the pilot seat. You
Right.
gotta stow
Right.
it
You got an
before you
animus
sit down.
missile launcher on your back.
Railgun.
You can't
Exactly.
sit
'cause
down
I'm
into
tired
a
of seeing
fucking
people get out of
carpet seat.
Avengers with fucking railguns and missile launchers on their backs,
Agreed.
like in heavy armor.
Yep.
Like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
not supposed to happen.
Yeah. No, it's going to change so
Realism.
much about everything. It's like that's what I tell people. Like Star Citizen a year from now is going to be nearly unrecognizable from what we have right now. It is going to be
At least
so.
Yeah, I would
player
totally agree.
experience,
I would
not
totally
necessarily
agree.
what you're seeing, but
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
the
many.
things you have
Totally
to
agree.
think about before you
In a
jump
good
into
way.
shit,
Totally agree.
so much more different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
And
prep
then I
citizen.
mentioned about New Babbage and the Moons. Chris was super excited about New Babbage and all the stuff they've got going in there. And again, how fast they made the moons. Each moon took 2 weeks.
That is amazing too. I love that tech.
I've been
So
so
cool.
busy running around New Babbage, I haven't been to the new moons yet. So I need to do that.
I saw some of the video of the moons, and they look stunning.
But
Yeah,
and
I
that's
hear
just
they
it.
look
This
good.
is the tech that is laying the foundation to make the game actually happen. That's what's
Yeah.
super cool about that.
Well, and those were the first moons that were completely created from scratch with the new system.
Right.
In 2
And
weeks.
Yeah,
that
Planet
they
Tech
can do that
V4, yep.
in 2 weeks. It's like
Mhm.
One
man,
person.
so they can start banging these things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see. And the
I like how he teased us when he said that they moved on to work on stuff for another system.
for Pyro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well,
we know
they were
it's
talking
Pyro,
about-
but he didn't say Pyro.
They did talk about Pyro. Oh no, it was in the monthly report.
They
So in the monthly
mentioned
report, they
a
talked
few
about
things,
working
yeah.
on planets and
Yeah.
moons for
Loosely.
Pyro already.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they hit here and there's a lot of information, but yeah, it's super exciting to see how. I want to see how fast they build that system as the first full brand new star system they're building from scratch. And again, the bottleneck is going to be the actual art assets, creating the textures and the rocks and the trees and any of those things that they have to put into the tool. So they've got the tool where it's like, okay, we can put in our algorithms and we want all this, and then it's like, all right, bam, here's a whole new planet. But actual artists have to actually draw and create the textures and the design libraries for completely new environments. So that's still the bottleneck for a while, but as they build that out, the faster they can go.
Yeah. All right,
Next
what's
item.
Yeah.
Oh, I
in
love
the show
this comment from Chris. Like, if you're expecting everything to be fully polished and working brilliantly the very first time you load it up, you shouldn't be playing Star Citizen just yet.
Just
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
very much
I think
so.
we'll get
Yes.
volumetric clouds in like 4.1 or something when we get Orison.
Yes,
there was
please.
actually something in the monthly report about volumetric fog and how that they're reworking that for the Vulcan. So
Right.
I'm wondering if they're trying to have all that in the new system for when Crusader comes out.
Yeah.
3 months away.
That's my guess. Is it'll be for Orison. We'll get volumetric clouds to go with Cloud City.
Yeah. And then
Just
they'll
guess.
update all the other planets with volumetric clouds. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I can't wait for Orison.
Ah, yeah.
I hate all the comparisons to Bespin, but I understand where they come from. People are
Yes.
limited in
Yeah.
imagination.
It's the only thing we have to kind of relate it to, is having a floating city out there.
I design mini floaty cities. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, and the lore post, we haven't got the lore post yet.
Sci-fi.
I did actually read the lore post. At least I skimmed it, and it takes
I
place
skimmed
in
it too.
Crusader.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was interesting that they were talking about how it's like you're walking around and you're literally floating in the sky, and it's kind of a little disorienting. It's like there's no ground, which is pretty cool.
All right. What are we on now?
Bounty hunting, track down and mobilize, delivered to prison, very much like the Mandalorian. Unique project development, open iterative development, having to polish and get feedback super early.
Right.
Let's talk about how much of a challenge it is to have an open, playable environment and keep iterating. We talk about all that all the
Just
time. The
a
balance.
quick thing about bounty hunting. He didn't say what I've been saying. They haven't said was when you get caught by a bounty hunter, you turn into an NPC and you, the player, go straight to jail, and your NPC body gets trucked over to jail. That's not what he said happens. He said you get caught, you sit in the cargo hold, or you sit in the stasis bay until you get dropped off at the nearest advocacy facility. So
Yep.
this talk of I'm gonna be a pirate, and when I get caught, I just go ahead and go straight to prison. I don't have to worry about this sitting and waiting in other people's ships nonsense.
Nope.
Like, it's not the case. You're gonna role play it out of getting captured, and it's gonna suck for some people because they're gonna get caught by somebody. They're gonna put them in handcuffs. They're gonna put them in the back of their ship, and they're not gonna take them anywhere.
And then they're gonna
fuck
park
them
their
for
ass
hours.
at the nearest rest
Exactly.
stop, have 14
Yeah.
drinks, and 16 days later actually deliver them to the advocacy.
Exactly.
Boy, you
People are
smell
gonna get
terrible.
And they'll have to
Yeah.
work on it. They'll have
Mhm.
to iterate on it, but it's not this easy. I don't want to role play being trapped, so I'm going to respawn in prison automatically.
Nope.
Like
Well, let's hope
and
that
I've
that
seen a lot
does
of
not
people.
happen.
A lot of people bring that up, and the only people I've ever heard say that were the community. I've never heard CIG say anything about that. So it's
Yeah, it's all
Be
a
very
lot to
interesting to see
determined.
how that
it's
ends
good
up.
that he said it again and he didn't say, and then you're going to spawn in prison.
Just-
Like
Take me
Yeah.
to, put me in the hawk and take me to jail, please. Yeah, Golden Horde.
exactly. You're gonna sit in the back of that hawk in that dark tank seat, which is fun to get flown
Yeah,
around. in.
14 days later, I can only imagine what that'll smell like.
Oh, and there was one of the comment that Chris made in the Pillar Talk was about homesteads, because before they've talked about building bases, and everybody
yes.
talks about bases and outposts and the Pioneer and that sort of thing, but he was actually talking about how people are taking these beautiful screenshots of these beautiful environments on Microtech, and how people want to have a homestead,
Mm-hmm.
not just an outpost, but a homestead.
Yep.
And I think that
Place to call home.
from him seeing what the community is doing and enjoying and experiencing in this universe that they're building, I think they're really starting to see, kind of like Sarah with how people live in their spaceships, like that, how most of us want to live in this universe that they're building. It's like we want to have a log cabin out there in a valley and with a mountain view, and so it's like fly out there, and it's like that's going to be our little vacation, weekend spot, and just go enjoy these beautiful places.
Yeah.
And like more than just
Yeah.
I want to have a base,
That
and I want
is-
to have my org, and I want to have these battles,
but
and I want to mine. It's like
That
this
is the
hardcore stuff.
single biggest request of most MP games, like you could play online, is
want
having
to
a
build
place
bases.
to call your home.
Yeah,
I mean, bases are obviously a step ahead of that, but I mean, having a place to call your own. So,
yeah, and being able to decorate, and have your furniture and collect your stuff, and the stuff that you collect on your journeys around the universe, and finding all these unique, interesting things. You take it home and you put it on a shelf, you put it up on the wall, and it's like this is your home. And a lot of us see it as our ships, and we've got the 890, which is going to be our flying home. But it's like I want to have a nice cabin on
Right.
overlooking a lake and a mountain.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
And they'll be absolutely lovely right until my A2 flies overhead and bombs the ship.
You have to find me.
Planetary
I will
shield
know who you are.
activated.
That's the problem with the connection we have right now. I know where you are.
Nice. A fleet of Winnebagos. Yeah, Jad, some of us have different things that what we call home.
Yep. For some people, it's gonna be their Cutlass, or it's gonna be their Caterpillar, or their Kraken, and it's like
Yes.
everybody
very
has
much
what
so.
they love, or their Polaris. Moving right along. So this was a great video that's playing. I mean, this guy did
Yeah,
great
so it's
cinematics.
Kungly. Yeah, he did a great. We skipped
That
over
was-
it, but I
a
thought we
community
were kind of
spotlight.
talking about it. Yeah, we're kind of talking about having homes and things like that. So yeah, yes, Polaris is home definitely. Divine Shadow.
Yeah,
But yes,
Polaris
very
is
good
gonna be
video.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that was from this weekend Star Citizen. That was the community spotlight.
Great video.
Really,
Very well done.
yeah. People are making beautiful stuff.
Can't wait till it's done.
Yeah. I guess some negotiation, Starliner ship tour. Yeah. So they were talking about a Starliner taking off from Crusader, taking people on tours of the moons of Crusader, as a tour ship, and it got taken hostage. So interesting little story, republished from early 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought the interesting part to me was like talking about the Starliner, talking about going on tours. That's going to be a gameplay.
I've already seen and need to put to bed the rumor that the Starliner is coming in 4.0 or 4.1. Like, it's not.
What?
It's not.
People
read these lore posts
there.
and they see a ship mentioned in a lore post. They're like, "This is the next ship. We're gonna get it
freaking time." It was
every time.
Last week. It was the Ares. I was like,
He's
the
dream
Ares is
killer.
coming out through Iron. It's coming out.
Dream killer.
It's like, look at the
Dream
fucking date.
killer. Yeah,
Look at
calm
the date.
down. This was written years ago.
Yeah, well, it's like when you read the news and everything on the internet stays forever, and that's kind of like the same with lore posts. Like, when was this news article came out? It's like, oh, this came out in 2007.
Polaris in 4.0, really?
Yeah.
Yep. And then there was another post by Chad McKinney, the lead gameplay engineer. He was talking about, what was he talking about?
Oh yeah,
There's one way to fix it.
A lot of stuff.
I'm sure they'll come up with a way to do it. I just, if you automatically respawn though in prison, that takes away gameplay because you can't have your friends come bust you out of the Hawk. They're gonna come bust you out of prison.
Well, there were people that were talking at some point, and I don't know if maybe it was a dev comment at some point where your character would be replaced with an NPC. That they didn't.
That's only been the community that I've seen said that. I
right.
have not
I've never seen anything
that,
from SIG was from that. I agree.
I think that there was a
maybe back in like
comment.
2013 they said something about it, but who gives a fuck
it was
what
like
they said in 2013?
Well, okay, but they did mention the fact that you can raid a character.
Actually.
You can raid a cat, and then it has your friend in a stasis pod. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
how does that work?
How do you do you immediately spawn in a prison once you are an NPC replaces you? So you're doing your time.
But
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
But
but we're talking about the
replace
time
them.
between when you actually get busted to the time you arrive in prison. What does that time look like? Is it
You're not
instant?
gonna get
Exactly.
You're not going to get put on a caterpillar and taken somewhere. What's going to happen
But
is
why? Because that is a really cool mechanic.
Well, I don't think any of us can say what is going to happen.
I just don't think that's going to happen because I think you're going to get caught by the person, the bounty hunter, and they're going to put you in like the back of their stalker or their Cutlass Blue or their Hawk, and they're going to take you to the nearest advocacy station, and then you're going to go to prison.
But the time it takes for you to get there.
I hope there's a timer that says you have to get there in this amount of time once you capture someone, so we don't have this trolling of keeping people captured.
Yeah, because that's true. You could just throw them in a life pod and just leave them out in a Cutlass.
We have a
Blue
poll going on
forever.
at the top of chat there if you want to get in on the poll.
Yeah, there's a poll going on. Let's get it. Let's see where we're at. So Jordan's first prison experience. I don't see anything about backdoor.
All three of those
damn
are
you're
very
cute.
social.
Oh, damn you're
Damn, you're cute is what the other prisoners are going to say to me.
Damn, you're cute is exactly what I'm feeling on that one. Yep.
Fuck that answer.
Okay. Yep. That answer.
Next.
Next,
We gotta
moving
wrap
right
this
along.
up
But
too early.
yeah, so
That answer.
so the dev post was in question about server performance at SSOCS and server meshing, and it was just a lot of good information that Chad McKinney was talking about there. I made a brief note as far as the only important thing I really took away. Is it possible to implement Pyro without server meshing? Pyro might be the first meshed server transition through the Gump gate.
I don't think so.
Well, that's what Chad McKinney said. It's not. He's not saying that it is going to be, but he's saying
There's
that
a number
it
of
is
ways
gonna,
that can go.
If they didn't have any server meshing in yet, that's a lot of additional content depending on where people are and what's being drawn off of the servers. That it might make sense depending on when that happens and where they are with the network development. He's not making any promises, but that might be a good first test of server meshing. That okay, Stanton's system is on one server and you transition through being handed off as you go through the jump point to another server that's handling Pyro system.
Thanks for 6 months of fire. Well
Thanks,
done,
Fire
well
Master.
done.
Next one, fire.
I think they can add Pyro without
Unanimously,
server
the
meshing
poll
very
has
easily.
won. Damn, you got a pretty mouth.
I don't.
You go in the jump
I-
point, and when you come out of the jump point, you're on a new server. It's not hard to do, and that's what I'm expecting them to do when they started. Is
But that's
Pyro
but
will be
that's
on its own
but that's
server.
that's server meshing. It's what
Well,
he said.
It's
That's not server
it's the,
meshing. That's
well,
that's server
it's the
transfers.
transition from server
But
to server.
that's what-
That
but
is the
that's-
meshing.
but that
point. So
is-
yes.
Server mesh. I mean, what
Well,
you're transitioning from one server to another server, but you're talking about the way other games do it with the loading screen. He's talking
Right.
about you're literally
But there is so
traveling
there's a
through
cheat.
space and being handed off.
If you guys
Right,
actually
but
realize it, the wormhole transition is actually a
a
cheat
loading
to
screen,
do
yeah.
server meshing, which is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant because there's very little interaction that can happen in a wormhole.
Well,
It's just tracking the people in the ship.
yeah, and so it makes perfect sense to use that as a first test of
Sure.
server meshing because I mean, there's
Agreed.
one ship moving through space, and
Right.
you just hand off. Okay, this container
Right.
is handed off to another server.
Or group of containers, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it makes great sense, and it would be and the timing seems about right. Where towards the end of this year is where they want to start testing server meshing,
Agreed.
and we'll get Pyro. So moving along, subscriber promotions. Stem, do you want to cover subscriber promotions?
All right. No, it's good. You do it. I'm good. I'm chatting. I'm chatting with chat. Having a good time.
Oh,
He's chatting with chat.
Doc, you want to cover subscriber promotions?
There's
so the
A bunch of
subscriber
cool helmets. Hey, to see
right,
Rack.
to Rack.
Five more
Another
subs.
mini
Oh,
bomb.
nicely done, man.
Thanks,
Micro
man.
bomb.
Nice.
Thank you,
That's
thank you, thank
awesome.
you.
And Buster
Oh.
got one too.
Buster
got
got
Yeah,
one.
I would,
yeah.
but there's no point.
I can't
Well
believe
done,
Buster
well
got
done.
stuff anyways.
Toss up.
Oh,
This is
okay,
Rack
so
being a big
this is-
supporter. Thank you.
the subscriber item of the month is helmets. There's 6 of them. You get 2 as a Centaurian, 4 as an Imperator, and you get the privilege of buying the other 2 for $5 if you're a subscriber.
Not bad.
Oh,
Yeah, they look all right. I don't know if
think-
I like.
Well,
the
what's the
bar in
story
front.
behind him? You want to tell the story behind him?
No, I don't know.
If you're
the story.
wearing one, you're basically kill on sight.
Oh yeah, that was what they were
Yes.
talking about at the back of the jump point.
Yes, yes, yeah. The back of the jump point where they said
in
these-
Pyro.
here. Actually, there's this. Let me see if I can.
Yeah,
get
we had a graphic
better-
somewhere.
Yeah, it's a better video thingy of it.
But they had a great video of the actual full armor, all three or four of them walking around and showing full 360 views of it. It's like
There we go.
it's a pretty cool looking armor, I gotta say. And I thought it was great that they said, okay, well, this month you're getting the helmet, next month you're getting the full set
Yes,
of everything
not
else.
an arm,
Not
and then
an
the
arm.
other arm, and then a leg, and then a belt to match your like.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm kidding.
I-
No,
It's funny how
so
they say free people of Pyro, they're all criminals over there.
yeah, hey, come on! Don't classify everyone. Don't be a stim on this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you can't judge everybody.
You can't just
today.
judge everybody by calling
That's
them them.
A lot of people just
A lot is 2
Frontiers.
words.
Frontiers
It,
people.
it sure is. It sure is.
And go.
and
Next.
asshole is actually probably 2 words too.
No, it's 1 word.
Go
It's
back-
1
go back-
word, asshole.
Yeah,
That's
you can't,
right.
you can't say asshole without pointing 3 fingers back at yourself.
What?
Should I go back to the subscriber page? We're not done with it.
Yep.
What?
Oh,
I thought we were.
shit.
Well, we were just showing the helmet, so we didn't talk about the Avenger. All 3 Avengers are apparently the subscriber ships of the month.
I think
for this month?
This is the one fucking thing I closed. Here we go. All right, sorry, my bad.
Woo! You're the
Holy
operator with
shit,
10
the
gifted
operator.
subs.
AOD
Wow,
crushing the
that's
awesome.
bomb.
Triggering and hype
Thanks,
So,
train.
man.
so guys, all of this stuff actually gets eventually tallied up at the end of the month, and we basically throw this back into shift giveaways. So, thank you so much, EOD. That was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. So,
Mhm.
subscriber flare. Here we go. So, ship of the month.
Nice one, EOD.
Well,
Ship of the month is the Avengers series. Woo!
the entire series, so you
Avengers
can get any
Yep.
one of the Avengers. Okay.
Yeah,
That
all
means-
So
three.
basically, it's
that
gonna be
means-
warlocks running around EMPing
That's what I was
everybody.
about
Yeah.
to say, get ready to get spammed by
Mhm.
warlocks.
Yep. Everybody's got a warlock.
Everybody's got one.
And then if
Yeah.
you scroll down a little further, it shows the video of the armor, the full armor set walking around.
Is that actually on?
Yeah, just click it.
It does. but
The
Yeah, it
armor's
doesn't,
next
doesn't
month,
link out.
Square.
You
I
have to
can't
show
help it. I can't help the audio because
I don't think there's any.
Was there? I don't think there was audio. Nothing super important, but it is,
armor
it
looks
is a
pretty
very,
good.
very cool looking armor. Like I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right. Now we can move on.
And our last graphic over here.
that one, the one that's going to start the emo storm.
Yeah, so people are talking about how long that it's taking for Ivocati, because I mean they started it fairly late in the middle of March, so they really only had 2 weeks until the end of the month, and that was right when the whole COVID thing started happening. So we're 26 days in total from when it dropped on March 13th. This is not actually the longest that we've had an Ivocati. 3.5 was 23 days, and 3.0 was 49 days in Ivocati
Yeah.
before it went to PTU, and then
But
it
that
was
was-
30 days.
So
PTU.
okay, but I mean this goes back to the Pillar Talk where Chris was like, "Dude, we're gonna hold back an update if it sucks. We don't want another 2.6, right?" And I
Yeah.
think they learned that with 3.0, and that pretty much shows
Well,
right
and,
there.
and 3.8. I mean, they dropped 3.8 early before the holidays, and it's been miserable for a lot of people. I mean, it's been a really unstable patch. A lot of great stuff, but I mean, it
I've had no issues,
3.7.
so I don't know.
3.7 was the best patch we've ever had.
3.7.2, yeah, it was
as far
amazing.
as- stability,
Agreed.
crash relogging. You came back, your cargo was there, you're in your ship, everything was working great, super
Mhm.
stable, frame rates were great. Frame rates have been down, there's been a lot of crashes, a lot of 30Ks, and just a lot of desync, a lot of different issues. So
Oh, that was something they talked about in Pillar Talk, was getting rid of the desync,
Yes.
which will be nice.
So-
It'll be nice to be able to
Yeah.
see my friends standing
Yes.
near me. Instead of
So
disappearing
so
half the
there
time.
was two phases of that. They said yes, Star Marine was going to get really really good,
Right.
almost as good as like a Battlefield kind of thing where things
we
actually
don't
were
get that
very
bad.
well synced. But
Yeah.
they also said that it's not going to be the same in obviously the PU, but at the same time it's going
but
to
it's
get a
gonna be
lot
the best.
better.
Right,
Right.
because it's based on server performance.
Exactly.
So if the server's
Yeah.
running well,
Right.
it's
If
gonna,
the server's running well, there's not a lot of objects to track, it's going to run well.
Well, and
so yeah.
part of that
servers
goes
get
back
bogged down
to-
after a while.
So part of that goes back to that physics refactor, and Sean Tracy was talking about that, or Todd Pappy was, where it was Todd Pappy, where there was a physics refactor for 3.8, in addition to SSOCS, and the physics refactor is what was causing the desync, and a lot of us thought that it was, they've been talking about how Chris Roberts was working on some physics stuff and that sort of thing, and how we thought that it had to do with ship physics and that, but when I was reading the monthly report, it went in depth about what they were talking about with physics is actually multi-threading. So apparently there was some glitch with how it was feeding everything through the multi-threading system, way over my head. And that fix was almost in for 3.8.2, wasn't quite, so it's coming in for 3.9. So part of those things that they're implementing to give us much better performance. And I
Like
think
Delmars.
3.9 should be one of the best patches ever, because it was great in 3.7. Sounds like they're trying to get to that or maybe even better, and they probably lost a couple of weeks in getting everybody remoted, and that sort of thing. So
I don't think it did. I think they actually went right in
Yeah.
on that. So yeah.
Night, Delmars. Glad you could join us, man.
All right, let's move on to
Hi,
the
buddy.
next.
And that was the last thing on our agenda. So we probably have some questions. We can try to speed through any questions that we've got.
Yeah.
Ben, do you want to take questions, or-
Let's hit the
All right.
questions. Okay, so we have a Patreon question coming in. So this one is from EOD Operator. What have you guys heard about the Gravlev engines on the Prowler? Will it perform like a Dragonfly?
No. It will
I've
not.
heard people talking about it. I haven't heard anything about it from CIG, so no idea yet.
Yeah, not
Doc,
sure on that one.
you can't talk about it yet.
Yeah.
Nobody
I just
else.
think of
So
like the Nebuchadnezzar, from
yeah,
Matrix,
exactly. Yep,
kind of
exactly.
floating
Because
around.
it's got those things that look just like the Nebuchadnezzar from Matrix.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't know if it's in for 3.9 yet.
We don't know.
But
We'd
Yep.
like to know. Inquiring minds would like to know.
Yeah.
We can bullshit all day, but we don't have enough information to bullshit on that one.
Yeah. I would guess, I'm going to take a guess, that is that it's probably pretty similar, because it's supposed to, part of the fact of the Gravlev, I think they mentioned it at some point, was that it was supposed to actually, be able to almost adhere like a remora to a bigger ship as it kind of comes in to then drop on it. Like, so it's not just a ground drop ship, it's also
Mhm.
like an interdiction, kind of a spaceship to spaceship in space
Mhm.
drop ship.
In space.
That's why it's stealthy and sneaky and stuff. Okay,
Yep, next question.
next one. Okay, via the website comes from Sweet to Tsunami. What are your thoughts on the alleged upsize of the Mercury Star Runner, and how do you think it will affect the design specifics? For example, the crawl space,
Ah,
the smuggling
no.
area.
We had this discussion yesterday in the yacht club. Sweet Tea Tsunami, you should be in the Discord for the yacht club. So we had this discussion. Apparently, Caradef was somewhere else in some other community, and people were talking about how the Mercury has to increase in size because of some bullshit somebody made up. And so I pulled up the full hour-long Star Citizen Live or Verse to Verse, where Sarah McCullough was going through her whole white boxing and spacing out, and all the character models were inside of the ship. It's not going to grow.
Right.
Okay.
Done.
Moving right along.
Next one.
Yeah. Why would it grow? Oh, sorry.
Because somebody saw something.
I know.
They made up a
I
bunch
know.
of stuff. Yeah.
I know.
If that was you,
Typical.
Sweet Tea Tsunami, sorry, nothing personal. But
Next
All right.
question.
It gets triggered so easily. So Jad, via the website, man, thanks for the question. Can we trust a month-old recording of a video when it says there is no wipe between 3.8 and 3.9?
Why not?
I
Why
give
not?
it
Why do we
95%.
care?
Yeah.
95%.
95%.
What
anyone,
it does,
anyone want to take the odds?
it tells
I
us
give you
what
2 to 1.
it tells us what their intentions are. They
Mhm.
do not intend to wipe between 3.8.2 and 3.9. Will they?
Exploits will not stop it.
We don't know if they will or won't. Something
Let's
might
hope
come
they
up that
don't,
forces
but
them
they
to. but-
edit the accounts of the assholes that are cheating.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Let's just go with that.
That's what I hope they do.
The only thing that will make them wipe is if there is some completely clusterfucked issue with the database. But what it seems like they have done is they basically said, okay, well, like
Databases.
one database item entry,
Yeah.
like whatever anybody has earned. Okay, here's your UEC level in game. We're gonna save that data, and you have 350,000 UEC. It's like you're going to get to keep that. Everything else gets wiped. Well, and the things that you've purchased, you've bought a gun, bought a cooler, you bought these items. You've purchased these items. They're in your inventory. It's like, okay, you own these items. Everything else gets wiped. The whole database gets wiped, other than the things that where they're maintaining the fact that you own these items, not the actual data of those items. Like, okay, so there might be some bugs with the components you've purchased. All that's going to get replaced with the new build. But the fact that you own that item, you will get one in the new patch.
Yep.
So
No.
Squadron 42, is it coming in 2021? This comes by
Yeah,
Chris,
there's no
Chris
question.
Taylor via the website.
No
Oh, that's
question it'll
next
be in
year.
2021.
Sure it will.
Yeah, there's no
Good
question
question.
it'll come in
It was-
2021.
It was coming in
doesn't-
2016.
Yeah,
So
well,
let's
Yeah.
let's
no,
not take this to
it'll-
mean much.
So do you think beta is coming at the end of the year?
I think beta is coming at the beginning of next year.
Agreed.
If that's soon.
Quarter one probably.
soon enough.
Yeah.
Yes. Either way, it'll be 2021.
All
Mark
right.
my words.
yeah.
I'll buy drinks if it isn't.
Via the website, 4Rider says, what's your opinions, so all of us, on player orgs being brought into canon?
Yes,
lore.
Jed. Totally true.
Yeah.
Will happen.
Is that the right canon?
No, it's not, but that's fine.
One in.
I want to be put into a cannon and fired, just like in
Yeah,
Sea of
let's-
Thieves.
let's-
Noted.
We're gonna put you in a
Noted.
Polaris
Put
torpedo
Stim in a
tube.
cannon.
His head is very aerodynamic, so he'd probably do really
I'm
well
like
as
a
a show.
cannonball, Bart.
I'm a fucking cannon.
Yeah.
Chris has basically said from the beginning that this is going to be a real universe that you can actually impact, and that
Yes.
you'll make your name as a great space pirate, and that will go into the lore and the history and the news.
Let's
and
hope.
there'll be org battles, and there'll be
There'll
giant
be
battles
a
with the
bald-headed
Bandol.
UEC man or
Yeah,
UEMC
and-
man named Ears.
And that's going to be one of the important things about why you don't want to die, because your reputation, if you want to become a great hero, if you want to be Han
Precedes
Solo
ya.
and save some planet or something like that, or you want to be the great pirate of Pyro or something, it's like that will become part of the lore.
The dreaded
Yeah.
Pirate Roberts.
Not until the game releases, though.
Well, yeah, no, not until then, but that's the future.
Until we hit whatever 1.0 will look like.
Cared of.
In-
Yeah,
in-
we don't
in
know
10
what a
years.
short show is.
So Jad follows up with another question saying, mining and shipping have at least 3 tiers to ship sizes. So far, salvage has 2 tiers and gas harvesting has 1 tier. Will there be at least 3 tiers to salvage and gas harvesting?
We are not CIG. We have no fucking
Yeah.
idea. JJ, I love
How-
you, but that's a bad
We
question.
can't answer that.
I can't answer that.
If I had to force an answer, I would say they'll probably make
They
more
will
ships.
expand it
I-
out. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Because they sell
I would
ships
say yes.
Keep the lights on.
Ish.
So
Ish.
And every career has to have a ship progression.
right.
Every career has to have ship progression. There's 42 combat ships out of 150. So a third of the ships are combat ships.
That's
And 80% of the community aren't into combat. So people who are into cargo, we don't have any cargo ship between 122 SCU and around 400 SCU. There's nothing in there except maybe the Taurus to happen someday. So there's a lot of room there. Salvage, lots of stuff. Yes, we're going to see a lot more ships in those areas.
I think the
Yeah.
tiers as we know them will not be the same.
Yeah, I think
In the
I think there
end,
will be
multiple
lots of.
iterations.
I think once they're done, there will be lots of medium mining ships and small
Yeah.
mining ships and small harvesting ships,
Yes.
small salvage ships.
Yeah.
But
There should
just
be,
to
yeah.
start with, they're getting like one for each tier, and that's what they're pushing out right
Yep.
now. So I expect there to be, but we can't answer that question.
And
And
they will
I
be
think it'll
releasing
be-
ships for the next 20 years.
And it'll probably be a lot more
hope.
seamless in the progression rather than being, like integer tiers where
Yeah.
you feel like you advance from one to the next.
Can you imagine 500 different ships? Oh,
Yeah, well, it'll get
Well,
there.
Let's hope.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
We like
It's already
selection.
The next question says, who do you think asked it? It says, Tim, have you ever rubbed the neck of the giraffe statue before? Every time I oil it up so that it doesn't crack. I rub the neck of that giraffe statue.
Wait.
Okay, moving on to the next one.
Okay.
Smokescreen asks via Twitch at Yacht Club SC, is it true that when the game releases and insurance becomes a full-fledged thing, will my $1,200 ship that I bought with in real life cash, if it blows up, is it gone forever? So
Well, if you bought a ship for over $1,000, it has LTI, so no.
Yeah.
And if
So
you
to-
bought a ship for over $1,200 on the gray market,
What ship? What ship?
buy
Yeah,
an LTI
that's a good question. What ship was $1,200? There was
None
no
of
ship
them.
that was $1,200. So
the interest
You
fee was
evidently-
$12.50 for a little while.
It was 12 or 13.
It was
hey,
$12.50.
Nick
Um,
Charles,
$12.50.
thanks for the
So,
tip.
so I think a more appropriate choice of ship for the specific question would be like the 890 at $950. Okay, so
Yeah.
if it doesn't have LTI, and you after 4, 5, 6,
Why
10
don't you
years,
just say if it's insured? Start from that point. Like
Yeah,
if for some
if
reason
it's-
there's no insurance on it at the time
Yeah.
where you lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they have
Don't
said
lose it.
is, you fly your ship without insurance and it gets blown up, you'll be able to rebuy it, but it won't be at a discount. So you'll probably pay full price for it again, but you'll have it reserved for you to rebuy. So if you have like a rare ship like an 890, and you forget to up your insurance because you're smoking crack or something, then
Complete fucking moron.
yeah, so you'll still be able to rebuy it. It's just going
And
to
they
cost
yell
you
at me for
16
having an
credits.
opinion. Although I totally agree.
It's
You'd
just-
be an
it's just
idiot
when
to
your
not have
opinion is
insurance
wrong,
for a
we
ship
yell
that
at you.
big. Anyway, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Next question. Spectre asks via the website, what are your thoughts on no new concepts yet in 2020?
I'm looking at how much money they've made, and I don't think it matters.
I don't care.
Yeah, but we want ships.
I don't. I'm
I
money
don't.
poor right now.
I don't care. I'm good.
Hey, I'm one of the most money poor in this group right now. It's like still suffering from a year of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
But if we get an Origin 400 series here, is the next ship. I'm going to be doing some major fleet reshuffling.
The otter is
because-
collecting
super
spaceship
cute.
parts.
Yeah.
You just
Be
send that to
aware.
Otterpop.
Be aware. Actually, she sent it to me.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
That's cute.
No,
Love
yeah. Anyway.
Next question.
Okay,
Moving right along.
Spectre follows up with a question on Twitch saying, I have a question. Did CIG employees get to take those work PCs home, or are they using their personal PCs? Because that might affect deployment or development and deployment.
How the fuck would we know?
Yeah.
I believe.
Hey,
that they did
Xylo,
take-
Cotton Roberts wants to know. No, we have no idea.
I have actually. I don't remember where, if it was on
He's got a
Twitter,
guy.
Spectrum, or Concierge, but yes, a lot of them did end up taking their work PCs home. Because
I would imagine so. I mean, it just makes sense.
They can really
Yeah.
only work on them for some of the stuff that they're doing, like the graphics people and stuff.
Can you imagine having like T3 internet and doing these builds every day? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta download a build. That's gonna take me an hour, and then I'm gonna work on it
T3.
all
Who
day.
uses T3s
And-
anymore?
Are those
Me?
Tylenol 3s?
No, I wish I had a few of those.
Oh
Christ,
yeah,
my back
Tylenol
is
3 was
killing
a
me.
bomb. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I love
Oh,
me
Awesome.
some codeine.
yep. Real.
Okay,
Go.
via the website, Jad asks, is the Hawk prisoner compartment a logout bed?
I've fucking dated myself again.
Ooh.
It's supposed to be.
Is it?
Yeah. They said that they let you log out in it. So
Huh.
we'll see.
Neat.
When they released it.
Well,
they
I mean,
said
I
that.
kind of feel like you have no choice at that point.
Well,
Hey,
no,
I'm
I don't
stuck in
think
a
the
pod.
prisoners
Guess I'm
will be
logging
able
out
to
here.
log out. I think the ship owner will be able to log out, but the prisoners won't be able to. So it'll be flagged to ship owners only.
Huh.
That way you can land somewhere, get in the back, and go to sleep, and then respawn there instead of having to go
So-
fiend a station to land on.
What do you think
Sylvian
Right.
says-
the equivalent in Star Citizen would be of a Walmart parking lot?
A big rest stop.
Yeah, one of
rest stop hangar.
whenever the rest stops.
So,
One of the rest stop landing pads.
Sylvian asks, what makes a ship rare?
How many people bought it?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
How if it is a limited hull with
How many of
limited
them
number
exist
of
makes
sales?
them rare.
Yeah, like the Idris M is the most rare ship in the game. There were 100 individual
200.
ships sold. I think it was 100.
Wait.
Pretty sure it was 100.
Yeah.
The
I
Idris
think the
what?
original sale. The
Yeah,
Idris
it's-
M. There was only one.
That's
Doc Max
original
two,
though,
I'm
but you can
pretty
buy
sure-
them in a pack.
No. Right,
Yeah,
but
you
what,
can still buy it
that's
in a
what we're
pack,
saying. As
but-
far as individual ships sold, it is the most rare ship, and then
Yeah.
you could only get them after that in the $10,000 Wing Commander pack for several years. So you had to get into that level. So there were not a lot of people at that level.
So are
and
we
then
defining rare as limited?
Yeah.
the least
Mustang
number,
Omega
rare is the
definitely
least
is.
number of ships.
Limited to be bought at a level that is less than what it should be. So the
I
original
know
ship,
people with like 5 Omegas.
Yeah.
They're not rare.
right? Yeah. So I actually know somebody that has one. That was like, I'm going to upgrade this. I'm like, oh my god, stop it!
No,
do,
no.
do not do that. Sell it to me
Yeah.
first, and I'll give you something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Next
Can,
question.
can you even transfer the Omega?
You cannot.
No. So
Or
it's,
you
it's
can.
like,
You could gift it. Sorry.
You can
was
gift
the
it.
one-
Yeah. Mhm.
okay. So then wouldn't that make the Razor?
The
Not
Raven.
the Razor. The Raven, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be one of the rarest ships that isn't like over $1,000.
There are so many Ravens out there.
Yeah.
I've talked to probably hundreds of people with Ravens.
With like 2 or 3 ravens
but,
each.
I know a guy with like 20 or
Did you
30
get him
of
the
them
right way?
for his company bought the Optane drives to for all their computers.
These things are
and-
amazing, by the way.
And he kept the codes. It's like they bought like 20 something Optane.
Well, that's
drives for their
one
computers.
guy, though. I mean,
Yeah, but
Right, but
how many
hardly
people?
that
How many
many.
Optane drives did Intel sell? Probably
Tons.
with
many
that
thousands
promo,
of them.
I don't know.
Many
Yeah,
thousands.
Yeah, probably many thousands. So
Many
yeah,
No,
it's
the
not-
Omega. You're right. The Mustang
that
Omega, I think, is probably the most unique.
one of the most rare. Yeah,
I don't think
For its
so.
price point.
but
Well, it was
I
only
would say
it was
five.
only on sale one time.
but
The Omega? No, it was on sale for a year.
no, it was part
with
of
the
some
with the
hardware
380
sale.
and the 480Xs. Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
No,
the most
uh,
rare ship at that price point is probably something that's totally unlimited, but just nobody wants it.
Yeah, I think the Starliner was pretty rare.
the
as well.
Starliner is probably pretty rare, but
They
I
sold
think
like
a lot of people.
1,400.
Crucible? That's pretty rare.
Yeah, I don't hear a lot of people talking about a Crucible, but I
Yeah,
love mine.
nobody's
I
talking
think a
about
lot
the
of people.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
a lot of
nobody's gonna be
people own
talking
them,
about it until they
but
need something repaired.
Yeah, exactly.
Like shit, I should have
I think
bought
a
one
lot
of
of people
those.
actually own it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's
I
not
love my Crucible.
not
You
that
know?
many
Can't
out
wait to
there.
fly it.
But I love all Anvil ships though, so it's
Hmm.
not saying much.
Fair enough.
Anvil and Aegis for the win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one more question coming in.
Yes,
Jed
question.
Jed asks, is the crew of a Pioneer the same people that operate it? Flight systems or flight seems to be a minor role and the real action happens at its destination. Would Starliners bring engineers behind to actually staff the platform?
It's automated mostly,
Yeah.
so you
That's
don't
what I
need a
thought,
lot
yeah.
of crew to make it.
Right, you
Like-
put in a build list and a plan, and it just
Yeah,
does
it's
it.
a pretty
Yeah.
small crew, isn't it? It was
It's like 3D
yeah.
6 or
printing in
8.
a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it
it's a
was
big
3.
3D
I thought it was
print.
only 3 crew.
No, it's like 6.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know, but
it's
still,
really
for a
small
ship
crew for
that
this-
size,
for the size of the
6
ship, yeah.
people, that's
Right.
crazy.
Right. But most of the ship is factory space, so
Right, and
Okay.
Well,
how many of those
and-
people are actually flight assistants?
right.
So there's probably I thought it was only 3 like operating spots. I could be wrong. I don't know.
There's usually 3 on the bridge, and then an engineering.
Well, and a lot of that space is also the actual components, because essentially it's going to take all those components of the outposts that we see on the moons and planets right now and build those modularly. So there's going to be a whole bunch of the building modules and the mining modules and all these different things, and it's going to put them all together and build them and set them in place. So
And
just storage of all those things is going to be pretty large.
And you're going to need somebody coordinating the delivery of all that material. I mean, even if the storage of that material is all automated through like drones on the ship or what have you, you're still going to need somebody communicating with the players to make sure that we need more plastic or we need more panels or rivets or whatever in order to build it to get that parts list together.
Rivets.
Yeah.
Sure.
Space rivets.
Space rivets. There you go. Now you're good. Now you're 900 years in the future. Nailed it.
Check it a little bit.
That's right. You gotta spin it.
Sprockets.
Space rivet.
Sprockets.
Space,
and
Stanley
sprockets.
space
sprocket.
rivets.
Basically sprockets. Sorry.
Space rivets. Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Okay. So that was
That's
the end
all
of
of our questions?
questions. So that's pretty much we're getting to the end of the show. We need to do a
That's our
giveaway,
show.
gentlemen.
We did
Oh, we
a
have another
giveaway
giveaway?
already.
We gave a
Did
giveaway.
we did it? Okay.
Yeah,
we
we
did
did
a
one a long time
giveaway.
ago.
I don't think we have enough for another one. We've got
Yeah,
like
we should just roll it
20
to next
bucks.
week.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So for next show, so what do we have that's upcoming? So later this week, we don't have a Inside Star Citizen, but on Friday we always get the RSI newsletter. We generally get roadmap updates, and then Star Citizen Live. There's one this week. Has there been a teaser for it?
That's the lore post that we talked about earlier, or not the lore team.
Okay, nice. All right. So then on Saturday, actually, there's no Bar Citizens upcoming because COVID-19.
But there are some virtual ones going on, so and check out your regional Bar Citizen discords.
So-
off
They're doing
of
regional
the Bar
ones.
Citizen
They're doing
website.
digital
Every Tuesday and Friday, I'm having one,
Oh,
and
wow.
every Monday and
Okay, nice.
What day, Jordan?
I'm doing Thursday, Saturday, and Monday,
There you go.
8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're
So we
getting
got
everybody
you
together
covered.
and in the Discord and in the verse and doing fun
So
stuff.
come
And as soon as
drink
we
and
get,
do stupid stuff with us. It'll be great.
Yep.
as soon as we get Wally's Bar and 3.9, we're gonna have a
Oh!
giant bar citizen there.
I'm gonna be up
That'll
there
be
like
Fill up a server.
That'll be good. So the New Jersey Bar Citizen was postponed for obvious reasons, but it says here St. George area Bar Citizen still going on. I wonder if that is virtual. But I
Might
think
be. A lot of these went virtual.
We had a virtual one in the PNW a couple of weeks
So,
ago, a week ago.
we offered Yacht Club to actually host because we have the technology to do a lot of people to get involved. So if you want to do a virtual bar citizen, please reach out, get a hold of me or Stim. We can do that with our channel. So by all means, we'd love to do that. Get us through it. So yeah, we could totally do that. So if you want to do a bar citizen, you can't normally do it. Let's do it. We can help you with that.
Yep.
All right, who are we rating?
All right,
few
before we
broadcasts.
get a raid, Joran's
Saturday?
show is Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at
We already
8:30
plugged
p.m.
those shows.
Eastern. Just let me finish. There's more
Plug
to come.
engaged.
Okay.
Shadow Lounge is Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday
Yep.
at 10 p.m. Eastern as well. And then on this Friday, Sigelian is interviewing Dad Lando on the Night Crew.
Oh, neat.
So
Very cool.
can you show the Twitter link for that? It's
You have it?
line 186.
That was all the way
Change
at
it
the
to a
bottom.
Y. Yep.
Glad you said that.
Because Sigelian is an awesome individual. He's part of the Night Crew, which is mainly run by, but it's more of a round table by Buster the Destroyer, who was in chat a moment ago. Awesome people. If you haven't checked out their cast, they do a really good job. And Dad Lando, as you know, we've had him on the show 3 times, I think.
Great
Always a great
place,
time.
but yeah, great guy. Absolutely great.
Not Dad Lando. He is Kingfish.
Yeah.
Kingfish. Okay.
Yeah,
His
he actually
actual
goes by Kingfish.
He goes by
The
Kingfish.
community
yes.
has called him Dad Lando, and we're trying to reinforce it. He actually is a real person, not just Jared's
Yeah.
dad.
Exactly.
Yes.
When I think of Dad Lando, I think of him as himself. I think
know,
of him
like,
as the Commodore.
Especially
That's
when
why
we've
I
seen the
call
pictures
Jared
of him with little
Yeah.
Jared. That's just so great.
He is such a strong
Yeah.
personality.
Jim,
that-
he is yes, agreed.
But
Yep.
and not
but
just
there's-
strong, like a great personality.
No,
no,
no, a
he's-
great father
amazing.
personality, I think.
But
Yeah.
we're just trying to change his name that people made up for him, and he
Yeah.
adopted. He kind of
Right.
Oh, okay, okay.
He's trying to reassert the fact that he actually has an identity in the community,
Right.
and his
separate from his
And a great
RSI
name, the Kingfish.
Yeah, goes by Kingfish.
It is a good name too. It's
Or
a
the
great name.
Commodore. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So that's the show, guys. Thanks so much. So we have a raid set
time.
up. T. Who is our raid?
Yeah, like JJ said, Dad Lando isn't Jared's son. Jared is Dad Lando's.
Proper.
Jared's dad.
Well
Jared
done,
is
well
Dad
done.
Lando's son.
That's awesome. I love it.
Totally agree with that
That's
one.
true, JJ.
You're missing an apostrophe there, or two.
All right. Oh, so we're gonna raid Tessa D, who's also throw her some viewers. That'll be great. She's a UEMC member, so United Earth Mining Corporation that is doing that competition that's going to start as soon as 3.9
rigged.
hits. So get in
Rigged.
there and say hi to her. And if she doesn't know about it, then she soon will. Tell her all about it. Tell her what's going on.
She doesn't know about the only thing that
Well,
her
she
corp is
might
doing.
not. I don't know how it's. How
We
much
rated her once
promoted
before, I
in the
think.
company. Yeah.
We rated her last show, yes.
Not last show,
Awesome.
but it was a while back.
So thanks everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks everybody.
If you have any questions, make sure to throw them into the question form we have off of Yacht Club SC. If you're putting on an event or if you have a really cool project, let us know. We would love to show it for everybody to see. Don't forget to follow us. We will be also putting this. Oh, that's so cute. We'll be putting this on YouTube for everyone to
supporting
see.
this
If
little
you
guy.
missed the live show, consider giving us your nitro boosts because they really help out the audio side of things, so that we can have a really nice sounding podcast / show. And thank you
384.
and thank you. Thanks everybody.
Everybody.
Cheers.
Bye,
time.
everybody.
Salut.
Love y'all.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
As soon as somebody actually pushes the raid button.
Yeah, we're gonna get working on it, too.
Who is responsible for that? Is that UT?
That's
Pretty sure that's UT.